Hi, Isaac Childres from Cephalofair Games here, and I'm just going to tell it like it is. Heavy cardboard is a vital part of this industry. I love heavy games, and heavy cardboard gives them the representation they deserve. Not only do Edward and Amanda provide the community with a top-notch podcast that you can always depend on for fair and honest reviews, there's also a YouTube channel where they provide the community with some of the most in-depth and professional playthrough videos I've ever seen. In Edward, I see sort of a kindred spirit, someone who refuses to not be successful, someone who will go to any lengths and take those big risks to make sure he is providing his fans with the highest quality content possible. Support Heavy Cardboard so that they can keep making the magic happen.
Hey y'all, welcome to Game Day with Heavy Cardboard, where we teach, play, and discuss medium and heavy strategy board games, war games, 18xx. And today is a really special, very big day for us here at HCHQ. We just launched our first and maybe only ever patron drive over at pledgehc.com. So if you are ever considering supporting the show, now's a pretty good time to do it. We have completely revamped our entire Patreon. In addition to all the perks, everybody at the end of this drive on November 4th is going to be entered at the $5 and higher level to win a Duchess board game table from one of our sponsors, BoardGameTables.com. So definitely consider supporting us, pledgehc.com. We really would appreciate it. And at the beginning of the day today, we had 370 of you patrons out there. Thank you, everybody, for the support. Hopefully that number goes up throughout the playthrough. We'll see, and throughout the whole month, so thanks. Also, our good friends over at Game Surplus, they're having an anniversary sale right now. Pretty much, if not everything, is on sale. They have a plethora of games that are on sale. In addition to that, all our patrons get 10% off. That stacks on top of their discount. So, another incentive for y'all. So enough about that, on to the game. Today, one of our most requested games, and specially requested by a bunch of folks over on Reddit. So we have, obviously, Forbidden Stars, designed by Corey Kanitzka, James Niffin, I think is how you say it, and Samuel Bailey, published, of course, by Fantasy Flight Games. So, yeah. Let's dig into this. So thank you everybody watching around the world live, as well as those after the fact. Dan's going to take over the teaching. He is, I think it's fair to say, our resident expert for Forbidden Stars. So for those that are new to the streams, I'm your host, Edward Euler of Heavy Cardboard.
I am co-host of Heavy Cardboard, Amanda Euler.
And very good friend, personal friend, as well as friend of the show,
Dan Albright.
There we go. So... yeah, so Forbidden Stars. Let's go ahead and dig into this, shall we? All right, a quick note. We are going to keep the chat and the other cameras off until the teaching is done. Then we'll bring them back up. That way, it's kind of involved. So this way you guys can focus on the teaching and everything else. All right? So thanks for your patience. And let's dig into Forbidden Stars.
Okay. Okay, so as you can see from the box or as you saw from the box behind Edward, this is a Warhammer 40k game. So we will be taking on the role of different factions in the 41st millennium, trying to recover ancient relics from around the galaxy here.
Whoa.
Fancy.
Very fancy. So to win the game, you have to collect 3 objective tokens. These are your various relics and sources of power. So you'll see that each objective token has a faction symbol on it. So once one person has collected 3 of those, the game is over and they win. Or if you go 8 rounds and no one collects all 3, that's another way for it
We're
to
doing
end.
something wrong if it goes 8
Yes,
rounds.
yes, that is not ideal. So you'll see that the board is already set up. The standard setup for the game involves placing tiles, the system tiles one at a time, and then putting units and objective tokens down. But we did that ahead of time to save some time on the stream.
Yep. So this is not the standard setup. This is
Right.
the kind of drafting setup.
Yeah,
right?
there is a beginner setup in the Learn to Play book, but this is not it. Okay, so let's talk about how you get those objective tokens.
That's a great idea.
Each round is broken into 3 phases. So the first phase is called the planning phase. So you'll see in Edward's tableau here that he has 8 order tokens, 2 each of 4 different types.
There you go.
There they
Those
are.
are the 4 types.
Yep.
And as you said, 2 of each type.
Correct. So we'll talk about exactly what those are in a moment, but we're talking about how you do the planning phase first. So in turn order, I'm the first player right now. So starting with me, each person takes 1 order token and places it face down on any system tile. Each of these tiles is a system. So I could place it here, I could place it there, I could place it there. And then we go on to the next person. So the next person then places 1 of their order tokens. Just like that. So where this game gets really interesting is that you can stack these. If someone has put an order tile down and you want to put one in that same system, you put yours on top. And then it stays there. And so during the operations phase, which we'll get to in just a moment, we'll resolve the order tokens from top to bottom.
So, and that is the thing that will drive you batty and make you think all wonky. Everything happens backwards.
So if you are the last person to place an order token in a system, you are the first person to resolve that order. And if all of your tokens are covered up, like mine are right now, my turn just gets skipped. Everyone will resolve 4 orders, but it may not be in the order that you expect. It almost certainly will not be in the order that you expect, in fact. So that's the planning phase. That phase is very simple. One thing I will note is that to place an order token, you have to either be in that system or next to it. So yes, I could place here, I could place here because it's adjacent.
And all adjacency in this game is orthogonal only, correct?
Correct. Nothing happens diagonally almost ever. There's one sort of exception to that, but we'll come to that a little later. So that's the planning phase. We go around until everyone has placed 4 order tokens. And then after that, we go to the operations phase. So this is the sort of the main part of the game. So again, in turn order, each person chooses 1 of their top level order tokens.
So let's say
say there.
Dan had that out there.
So that currently would be my only option. So I flip this over and I do whichever order that is.
So of the options for the action, sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Sorry. Yeah.
So I'll go through what each of the order tokens is in just a moment, but I want to note first that you can discard any order. So if I decided that I don't want to do this, or I suddenly become not able to do that, you can discard it and put it on top of your event deck. And
so, for instance, take this off and just put it on top of your event deck to show, okay, I passed on that.
Exactly.
Action, right?
And that has significance, putting it on your deck, but we'll come to that later. So the first order token that we will talk about is deploy.
So the deploy token has the same symbol as deploy right there, okay?
Exactly. So this is how you get stuff. So when you flip a deploy order, in that system, you then have 2 options. You can do 2 things. You can buy units, and then you can buy structures. So it's always in that order, which is important. So we'll talk about buying units first. So a unit is any ground unit, ground guy, or a ship that goes in space.
So my little aspect warriors, or my bigger wraith guards, or possibly even my Falcons for ground units, and for space units, we have the ever annoying Hellborn frigates, and something that I am not really good at getting out, and those are my Void Stalkers. So they just get bigger and stronger.
Exactly. So those are units. If you have a factory in that system, you can deploy units.
So, for instance, if I played that here, I have a factory right here.
Exactly.
I can deploy units to that system.
Yes, we all start the game with one factory, and then you can get more later. Or you can lose them all, which is what I've been doing lately. That's also possible. So if you have a factory, you get to deploy units. So the cost of the unit is listed next to the picture on every faction sheet. It's that green gear, that's the material cost. Material is basically money, and it's represented on this little disc here. So everyone starts with 6. You turn the dial to spend it or gain more. Some units also require a forge token. It might be hard to see on there, but there's a little hammer under the cost, which means you have to have a forge token to play it. So we'll come to forge tokens momentarily. Last thing about units is that there's a command level requirement. So there are different sections of the faction sheet. There's a 0 section, a 1, a 2, and a 3. So at the beginning of the game, everyone has a command level of 0. To increase your command level, you have to build cities. That is a city. Or you can steal them from other players. That's also an option.
Which I much prefer doing.
Yes, much easier. Definitely cheaper. So if you have one city, you can build the unit in the command level 1 section.
So in my case, is the Wraith Guards right here. So
Exactly.
as long as I command one city, I can do that.
Yep. Same goes with 2 and 3. If you have 2 cities, you can build the level 2 guys. If you have 3, you can build the level 3 guys. Units can go to any friendly or unoccupied world in the system. So if Edward is producing here, his factory is there, he might put one of his guys out on that planet. He could also go to that planet. If he's building a ship, he can go to either of those voids as long as there are no enemies there. That's pretty much it for units. So when you flip the deploy order, build units first. The second thing you can do is build structures. So we talked about the factories. Factories let you build units. And we talked about the cities, which let you build bigger units.
So factories cost 2, cities cost 3,
Correct.
and then
Bastion is the last structure. So that's basically a defensive, it's sort of like a unit, but it doesn't count as one. But it will fight in a battle. So it helps you defend your important worlds. You can only have one structure on any planet unless a card lets you put down a second one. Yep, to indicate that one is yours, you take one of your square tiles, put it under, and prepare to lose it when someone comes to take it. They will put their own.
And like Dan said, even though it's a different type of building, I cannot place that on the same planet.
Exactly.
Unless I have a rule breaker that says I can.
Yes, exactly. The last thing that I'll mention about factories, I forgot this about units, is that there is a deploy limit. You can only deploy a certain number of units at a time. And yes, so it's the same as the unit capacity. So the unit capacity is the number of skulls attached to a planet there. So there can only be 4 units on that planet. There can only be 3 on that planet. But because the factory is on the 3 planet, you can only build 3 at a time, no matter how much room you have in the system.
So even if I had enough material to build 7 units, because the factory's here, I can only build 3.
Right,
Got
per
it.
action.
Okay.
You could use another deploy action in the same turn to get more if you want.
Cool.
Yep. So that's the deploy order. That's probably the simplest one. The next one we will discuss is dominate. So that looks like a set of wings.
Dominate token and dominate action right there.
Exactly.
Okay.
So when you dominate in a system, you gain assets, which are the symbols in these little red circles on the banner. So here we have a cash token, and here we have a prosperity, which is a wild. Well, there are a couple other symbols here. I'll go over those in a second. So you gain the assets, and then every faction has a special power. So when you do a dominate action, you gain assets, and then you do your faction's special power. So we can mention what ours are later. So you'll see there are different symbols around the board. There's the cash token, which looks like 2 gears. It's that token, which is worth 2 material. You can use 1 cash token per purchase to reduce something's cost by 2. If you're purchasing multiple units, you can use multiple cash tokens. The forge token, which is this hammer, you see a hammer right here, allows you to do a couple different things. So the first is that it is part of the cost of your higher level units. So you need a forge token to build your biggest, baddest stuff. The second thing it can do is temporarily reduce the command level requirement of any given unit. So if Edward has 1 city out, he can discard a forge token to build a level 2 unit.
So that's how I'm able to go from a Wraith Guard, which is a level 1 building, which requires that 1 city, as you mentioned, to be able to maybe then build instead a Falcon, which is going to be stronger, better, faster, etc., etc., by discarding that token.
Exactly. And that again, like the cash token, it's 1 token per unit. You can't discard 2 forge tokens to build a level 3. You can just use 1 to go up 1 level. The reinforcement token looks like a flag. You'll see, where are some on the board?
That's a good question. Right here. There's
Okay,
1 right
there's
there,
one,
and
yeah.
2 right there.
They're all over on that side. Okay. So reinforcements are used in battle. They basically are just there to soak up bullets. They don't do a
Bullet
whole
Yes,
lot.
they're bullet
Yeah.
sponges.
Yeah. When we talk about battles, we'll talk more about what they do. So that's what they are.
Cool.
If you dominate on a world that has the prosperity symbol, which is the same as the dominate token, you can choose any one of those tokens, and you get it.
So basically a wild.
Yeah, it's a wild, exactly. After you take those, you do your special action, which we talked about. So that's it for dominate. Dominate is also relatively straightforward. So the third action we'll talk about is strategize.
Oops. Well, I had it all set up. Hold on. Here we go. There we go. So strategize is the card-looking ones, and the action is described right here on the little cheater card.
Exactly. So to strategize, you need a unit in that system. So if someone kills off your units and you have a strategize order, it's not going to do you any good.
So I have units, strategize, cool, good. Next.
So when you strategize, you can buy 1 combat upgrade and or 1 order upgrade. So during battle, we will be drawing cards from our combat deck, and purchasing combat upgrades basically makes those cards better. So the command cards, combat upgrade cards, have a command cost in the top left corner. So there are some that are 0. They also have a material cost, which is below.
And some of them go up from there to where you need a higher command cost and higher material
Right.
cost.
There are really big cards
Yes,
if you're willing
there
to put
are.
in the time to get them.
Right.
So those, in short, just help you battle better. So when you pay for a combat upgrade, you take the 2 copies of that card, and you look through your combat deck, take 2 copies of any other card, and replace them. So now you now have a better combat deck. Exactly.
Nice job, Anna.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It's very exaggerated. It's
Just
good
trying
for
to
video.
emphasize.
It's perfect.
Exactly,
It's
trying to
perfect.
emphasize.
Yeah. Order upgrades change how your order tokens work.
They're kind of permanent rule breakers for you.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. So everyone has 2 of them that are related to orbital strikes, which we'll talk about, and then 3 others that modify how your actions work.
Which, if you notice, look just like the actions
Yes,
they modify.
exactly. It's the iconography for that part is very clear. So you might, for example, I don't remember which faction has it, one of the upgrades lets you build structures before units.
Right, so you can then build units where there was no structure in the
Exactly.
same turn, right?
Or one lets you move to places that you would not otherwise be able to move. So they
Cool.
just make your orders a little bit better.
And just like the combat upgrades, these have a combat level
Yep.
and a materiel cost as well.
Exactly. So you pay those, you put that on the table in front of you, it stays there. Just like that.
Cool.
When you're done buying your upgrades, your strategized token goes to the top of your event deck. It's the only one that goes there if you use it. All the others have to be discarded to go there. And again, we'll talk about what that does when we get there in the turn. So the last order is advance.
Dun, 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 dun. Fight on.
Yes, this is how you fight people. So, well, this is how you move and maybe fight.
Right, fair point, fair point.
So advance lets you do two things, basically. First, you get to move ships. So ships can be moved from any void, which is an area in a system tile that has no planet.
So let's say I say, boom,
Yes.
there.
Yes, and that's important. The move token has to be where you're moving to, not where you're moving from.
Yeah, I
Right.
learned that the hard way.
Yeah, that's an easy mistake to make. So ships can move from any void to any other void in the target system. So this ship can go from here to there, or you could go from there to there. It can't go here because these are worlds and the ships can't land. So
There's no space dock.
exactly,
Or
there's no
planet
space dock,
right?
no dock of any kind. So ships can move from any void to any other void.
So it would be the same whether it's here or whether it's here to move to either of those spots.
Exactly.
Cool.
From an adjacent system. You can't move any further. You can't teleport all the way across the board. But
In this case, you could move both to one zone or you can move one to each,
Yes.
so on and so forth. So-
exactly. After you have moved ships, you can move ground units. So unlike ships, ground units need to have a legal path to wherever they're going.
So if we had moved I moved my ships here previously for whatever
Yep.
reason,
The only legal path would be to there. So a legal path is a contiguous sequence of friendly areas. So you can move your guys through as many friendly worlds as you want. So if the board was like this, and then you did the move, this guy could go there, there, and all the way across.
right?
If you encounter an uncontrolled space, you have to stop because it's no longer a friendly line. Ships bridge the gap, so that's how you get your ground units from one system to another.
So as an
There's
example,
space.
and I'm completely butchering, somebody's gonna have to remember where I had these set up. So if, I'm trying to think, if it were like this,
Yep.
at the beginning of my turn, or maybe I move my ships
Mm-hmm.
over to here, I then could follow a orthogonal path
Mm-hmm.
across through to be able to get to there,
Right.
right? Okay.
That's mainly what ships are for, is getting ground units to where they need to go. Warp storms block movement. That's an important thing to notice. So these pink electricity-looking things are warp storms.
One here, one here to start.
Edward is blocked in very nicely
I
here
am.
by these.
I am limited in what I can do this turn.
So this is no longer a legal path because there's a warp storm. Can't move through it unless you have some sort of special ability. If you move a ship and you have not created a contested area. So a contested area is when units of two different factions are in the same place. That's contested, there's going to be a battle there. But if you moved a ship and there's no battle, you can start an orbital strike.
I.e. rain fire from above.
Yes, you just take pot shots at people sitting on the ground and they can't do anything about it at all.
They can maybe try to move out of the way.
Maybe. It's great. Yeah. So you roll attack dice, which will make sense when we talk about combat in a second, and you have the chance to kill some people on the ground.
And you can only attack one planet.
You can,
correct?
yes, you can orbitally strike one planet, and it has to be adjacent.
Meaning, if my ship were here, I could not attack this planet because that is not orthogonally adjacent.
Right.
I could only attack this one. In theory, this one, but there's nobody there. So
Exactly. Bastions prevent orbital strikes. That's another use of those.
And as a
defensive
reminder to
buildings.
everybody, bastions, they will cost 2 material. They look just like this guy. And when we put them out, if I put one out, that just means now nobody can orbitally strike that planet.
Right.
It's like a shot with bashing guns. Or something.
Something like
Or
that.
something.
Definitely something like that.
Or exactly something.
Yes. So, now we get into possibly the most esoteric part of the rules is combat.
So here's my question. Do you want to explain it when we actually fight, or do you think it's better to do it up front?
Maybe I can do a very quick version now, and then we'll go in detail when we fight.
Cool.
So let's say that's now a contested area.
Okay. Or better yet, let's do it this way since it's you and I have the camera over mine.
Perfect.
There you go.
So we are going to fight.
Okay.
So we go through. I think it's 10 steps in a battle.
Oh, that's all?
That's it.
It's actually really intuitive once you get
Yeah, it goes quick
really is.
once you
Yeah.
understand what's going on.
So first, you roll a bunch of dice.
Okay.
On the faction sheet, each unit has a number of dice listed next to it.
So, point out, I have 2 of my aspect warriors right here. So, continue. I will be Vanna.
Okay, so he has 2 aspect warriors there. Each aspect warrior rolls 2 dice, so he gets to roll a total of 4.
Okay.
And then those will be used in the next step.
Right.
After you've rolled your dice, you both draw 5 cards from your combat deck. And then you have the chance to add reinforcements, which we showed earlier. They're
Right.
these little flag
So,
tokens.
if I had acquired any of these guys from any of these previously, then I can now add them to the combat and say, okay, we're going to fight.
Bullet
with that.
sponge.
Cool.
Exactly. Then we get into the execution rounds. So you choose a combat card. Both players choose one and put it face down on the table. The attacker flips his up and resolves it. Then the defender flips his up and resolves it. Well, we'll explain exactly how those work once we get into the battle, but they make your guys stronger, basically, is what it comes down to. Then you assess damage. So all the damage done by your dice and cards. Yes, I will probably not be faring too well in this battle. And then, so once you've assessed damage, you play cards again. So the execution round of play cards and assess damage happens 3 times during each battle. Unless someone has all of their units die first. Right, so before we see who wins the battle, there will be 3 rounds of the execution phase, and we just shoot back and forth a whole lot. If anyone is completely eliminated, if they have no units left, they lose the battle, the other person wins. If they do have units left, you then compare morale, which is also listed on the faction sheet. Each unit has a morale value. It's the eagle, some sort of
Looking
bird
thing.
symbol.
Yeah. Phoenix something.
Phoenix, 2-headed eagle,
Yeah, go with
mutant
it.
hawk, something
Obviously.
like that. Yeah. Moth. Yeah. If there's one thing, it's definitely not. It's a moth.
Okay,
Right.
But it might be something else.
So
you
go
compare
ahead.
morale. Whoever has the most wins. Whoever loses has to retreat. There are a bunch of retreating rules based on where you can go. You basically just have to leave the planet.
Right.
There are specific rules for attackers and defenders, but you have to get out. If there are any structures on that planet, the winner gets to keep them. So you replace the faction token under the structure
someone
with your
else's.
own.
Yep.
And then that's it.
Yep.
Step 10 is cleanup. You take everything back.
Okay. So, in other words, okay, we put the dice back. Cards go back into your deck to be reshuffled.
Yep. Reinforcements go away.
Right. So these 5 cards that I played for this battle doesn't mean I'm going to get the next 5 cards. It means all these get shuffled back up again.
You will
right?
always be drawing from the same 10.
Right.
So that's combat.
Yeah. It's really not that bad.
It's not. It's not really like combat in any other game. And
Yep.
so it takes a while to get your head around
And
it
it's
sometimes.
nice that it's procedural because that lowers the overhead on the battles
Yes,
themselves.
you can just walk through each step.
Yep.
So that was the advance order. That was the final order.
There we go.
So that's all of the things you can do. The third phase in the turn is refresh. So you will collect any objectives that you have taken control of. So if Edward controlled this planet, he would take this objective. He would be a third of the way to victory.
There we go.
In a 3-player game. In a 4-player game, you must collect 4 tokens.
Right. Match up number of players for objectives you have to
Exactly.
acquire.
We have been called heretics. It is the Imperial Aquila, is what
Okay.
the moth is.
Oh, the moth. Oh. Apologize, Powell.
Okay, now
Thank
now I
you.
know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for being an expert.
Apologize for our heresy, and we will fix that.
Yes.
I may have to write it down. Okay, so you collect objectives if you've taken over any planet with an objective on it. You collect materiel. So the money that we talked about before, each planet, well, most planets on the banner have a number in green. If you control that planet, you get that much money at the end of the turn.
So in this case, I would get at the end of the turn, if this were the end of the turn, I would get 1, 2, 3, 4 material. So I would
Exactly.
go from 6 to 10.
Yep.
And you're capped at 14?
You are capped at 14.
Okay.
If you've saved that much,
Then well done.
yes,
Or
that
not.
would not be easy.
Right.
Yeah, it does carry over to the next round, so you can save some, but you probably don't need to save that much. After you've collected material, you rally routed units. So in battle, units can become routed. They basically become worthless, but they aren't quite dead yet.
What kind of bullet spongy is all
Yeah.
there are at
Yeah,
that point, right?
that's about it. So you lay them down to show that they're routed. At the end of the turn, they stand back up. And then the final thing you do is to draw event cards. So you draw cards from the event deck equal to the number of tokens that you have on that deck.
So I had 1, so I would shuffle these up, just like in your combat deck.
Yep.
You're always shuffling these.
Always be shuffling.
Just always shuffling in this game.
Every
just
day.
constantly.
Every day.
It's great.
So
Every
you draw
day.
1, turn it over.
Yep.
Okay.
So you get to do 2 things now. The first thing you have to do is move a warp storm according to the icon on the side of the card.
So I will show a couple of examples
Yeah,
here.
there are 4 icons.
Okay, well, here's 3 of them.
Yeah.
So to show the different warp storms, the direction in which you can move them. So these 2 are pretty self-explanatory. This one, you either shuffle one on end, meaning this one could only move there.
Yep.
These could move there or there. This one could move there. The next one is the other direction for them. So this one could move to this edge or to there, here, either there or this one there or to the edge.
And warp storms can be on the edge of the board. They can't go beyond the edge, but they can sit on the edge.
Okay. And last, they turn. So a lot of times, because I'm not really good at spatial stuff, what I will do is I will look, okay, this one, this warp storm could either move here, like this, swing on that axis, or swing on that axis. Well, I couldn't do it because there's one there,
Right.
so my only option to move that one is to move it there. So that's warp storm movage.
Yep. So that's how you move a warp storm. Each storm can only be moved once per turn, so you can flip it over to the gray side to show that it's been moved, and then at the end of the turn they go back to the pink side because it looks cooler.
Right, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because warp storms are pink. Duh.
Duh.
Come on, everybody knows that.
That's why I said duh.
Yeah, right.
Just,
Okay.
just in case.
Come on.
Just like the Imperial Aquila.
Aquila.
Everyone knows that
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, sure. All
So
right.
after you move the warp storm, you get to resolve the text of the card. So there are 2 different types. There are tactics and schemes. Tactics are easy. You just do it. It's a one-time thing, and it happens right away. You often get some cash or units, or you get to move something.
Right. Cool bonus for you only.
Exactly. A scheme gets played to the table. You can only have 1 scheme at a time, and it lets you do something later. You'll have to discard it. You can do things like spy on people's orders, or rearrange the order tokens, or kill a routed unit. It gives you little bonus activities like that. When you use a scheme, you discard it back into your event deck.
Cool. So back into the 8-card deck that
Yep.
everybody has.
Exactly. So That is
Multiple ones.
right. If you have multiple tokens on your event deck, you draw that many cards. So however many tokens are on your event deck,
So let's say I had 2 tokens.
Then you would
so
draw
I would
two
draw
cards.
2 cards.
and then you choose one. You always only resolve one.
So it just gives you more options.
Exactly.
Okay, cool.
Right. So you can use that for strategic warp storm movement or choosing a better tactic or whatever.
Cool. And we just keep them here, and then as we get things, we just stack it
Yep.
up so we know how many we've used, or how many we can draw.
Right.
Sorry.
If you have no tokens on your event deck,
Wah, wah, wah.
you still have to draw one card
Okay,
and
so-
move a warp storm.
You do that and that only.
Yep, you do not get to use the tactic or scheme. So every warp storm will get moved every turn. I suppose there could be a situation in which one couldn't move, but we haven't seen
I guess
it
if
happen
it's
yet.
physically
If it gets
impossible,
stuck,
right?
yeah. Yes. So you resolve the event. If you have no tokens, you draw and move the warp storm. Then you pass the first player marker, move the round marker to the next round, and do it all again.
over again. There you go. I think that's it.
Yeah.
I think it was
Simple,
succinct.
really.
It really is. It sounds like a lot, but there's really not a ton here. I feel like
Yeah.
it becomes pretty intuitive.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go ahead and bring up the cameras, the chat, and let's get ready to rock and roll.
All right.
We will reset everything.
Paul says that everyone knows it's Aquila. If someone does not, Inquisition makes sure they are no longer in the set of everyone.
I like where your head's at, pal.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes. Please
So-
continue with commentary.
Yeah. Yes, this is
absolutely.
fantastic.
Because I'll be honest, none of us are well versed in the 40K universe. I mean,
No.
I'll be honest, this is the first game. I mean, we've played this a number of times now, but it's the first time the first game that we've been.
We have Horus Heresy. That's part of it too,
Right,
right?
yeah. And
we never
have other games.
Yeah.
We just.
I've played Dawn of War,
Okay.
the RTS on the computer,
Oh,
but
okay.
I haven't played it. I've not a whole lot, and I have much
Okay.
experience with it.
So I want to double check my setup since I
right.
moved a whole bunch of things. I want to make sure that I don't have too many, and I do.
Do you?
Yeah, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I think he stays out. So hold on. One of these comes back off. I should have 2 Hellborn frigates. So yeah,
Okay.
the second one does go
Frigate.
there. And then I should have 1 Wraith
Frigate.
Guard, which I do. My factory is there, and I have 6 material.
Yep.
We're good. Okay, so for those curious at home, everybody has their own starting faction or starting units here and how much material you start with. So that's what I was just referencing. So let me get.
Do you want to show the objectives on the back too?
Oh yeah, this is.
There's
pretty
also
fun.
a whole lot of lore.
There is. So
for
all
each
of
objective.
this, let me get the glare off of that. There you go. So you have the lore here, and then for each objective, when you acquire it, you can read the little bit,
You
and
can
we
match
will.
match the picture
Right.
on the back of the objective token.
There. So, oh, hey, I just got the Lost Aspect Shrine. So we'll go ahead and mention who we are playing as well, which faction. So I am the Eldar, which are kind of the space elves, I think.
That name would lead me to believe that.
Powell,
Yes.
Right.
Powell
And-
will know.
Right, yeah.
Yes.
Powell will correct us
Yes, he
if
will.
not. I have been playing these for the last 2 weeks to get ready for the stream, honestly, so it's not embarrassingly bad, just bad. Okay.
Just regular. Band.
And Dan, who are you?
I am playing the Ultramarines chapter of the Space Marines.
Wow.
They're basically like the Catholic Crusaders, as far as I can tell.
Okay.
They're the good guys.
All right.
I am playing the Chaos Space Marines of the World Eaters Warband.
They sound friendly,
Super badass.
you know. Yeah,
Totes.
pretty much.
Really metal.
I'm really kind.
The annoying thing about Amanda's faction is they spawn every day.
Constantly.
What was it you said the other night? It's like a whack-a-mole.
Oh, it's like whack-a-mole.
Yeah.
Whack-a-mole with cultists.
Right. All right, so we drew beforehand. So we set up the board, we drafted, we did all of this. We placed the warp storms. We drafted kind of where those went as well. And Dan volunteered to go first. So Dan, it is your honor. So
Aye.
everybody has 8 tokens to start, 2 of each. Dan's going to place his. We'll go clockwise around the table. So it'll go Dan, Amanda, myself. And then placing 4, and then we go into the second phase.
Okay. I will
Cool.
place my first token smack in the middle.
You sure?
Absolutely.
Oh, wow.
100%.
Okay.
No, Mom.
See, and I can't say that because remember, If there's a bunch of stacked, that will be the last
That will
one
be the
activated,
very last
and
one,
we will be taking no mulligans this game. So
Yeah, I made that clear yesterday.
Yeah, not allowed.
When literally my second placement, I was like, wait, and yeah, so.
Oh, another thing I will note is that you can look at any order token that you have placed if it's on the top of the stack.
So in other words, you can look at that right now.
Yes.
You no longer can look at that right now.
You will forget your tokens
100%.
immediately after placing them.
Well, since you people have made my choice very easy on being able to block me off, and this is the only place in which I can produce units. I can produce units in other, or produce buildings in other places, but I cannot produce units. So, I'm going to do the kind of obvious first move and go there. And to be honest with you, the tableau cam that I had here, I will kind of walk you guys through the first battle, but for the most part, we're going to be battling out here on the table. That's why we've kept this area available, as well as this for Amanda, for you guys to be able to play along as we go along. And I will try not to riffle these.
I will too.
They're a lot like poker chips. So because we got them in the little plastic containers.
I love these. This is a great accessory for
Yeah,
this game.
it really is.
I will put another token in that same system.
Okay. Squirrel. And also, yes, now is the time to place your bets, everybody.
They've already been betting on me, so.
She did jump out to a super quick lead last night.
Yes.
She got 2 objectives in the first turn.
First, I did not know that was possible.
We learned a quick lesson.
Yes.
Don't allow the whack-a-mole to do that.
Oh, and I just saw a place where that could happen again. Okay.
I'm sure Amanda's aware of
Replanning.
it, yeah.
Replanning.
So I will. I'm trying to find what action I think somebody ate it. Nope, I found it. There we go. There. So we are halfway done with placement.
Placement usually goes pretty fast.
There you go, Omer. He says, I did not teach, so it's a good time to back him. You know, hashtag good teacher. Because I didn't teach, right? Or no teacher, I guess, as it were. Amanda? Thank you, Zender. I appreciate the confidence. And Bev, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got a vote.
You did. Yes. You got a couple of votes, it looks like. All right, so...
The Emperor's will is with me.
Well,
you
now,
really can't stand against that.
I'm intimidated a little bit by it, I won't lie.
Mwahaha.
And we'll go there.
Oh, see, now I'm already in one of those situations where I know I want to put this token down and I don't want to resolve it first. But I will definitely not have a choice.
Yeah. Rob has requested we stop messing with the...
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. I promised to try.
Yeah, just get them out of the way.
Well,
You need to wear mittens.
Yeah,
Maybe
right.
that would help.
No, it
The
won't.
mitten,
No.
I'd still figure out a
You
way to
gotta
do it.
understand, I've played poker for 25 years.
Oh, yeah.
And just riffling chips is not even something you think about anymore. It's just something you do.
It's like when I have cards in my hand.
Right, you're
always.
shuffling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're always fiddling.
It's your turn, right?
I know.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Strategizing.
Strategy.
And yes, we got the coin holders actually on Amazon. I actually ordered them just because somebody said these are amazing. They're, I forget what size they are, but I might be able to link to it in the bottom when we're done with
They
all
look
this.
about an inch-ish.
Yeah.
They're in
Inch and a
millimeter
quarter.
size. I know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, remember you got them from China.
Yep.
How many millimeters are in an inch, Amanda?
I don't do
It's
space
just
points.
don't let her. Don't make her math.
No, I don't do space points. I have no idea.
Oh, I need to get these for my copy. These are great.
Just as long as you're not live streaming them and have people that will riff
Yes.
Key wrap. Let's go.
them. Yeah, I have to.
Can you put it over in the... Sorry, guys. I did something to my back, so I can't really go very far.
Diagonally all the way across the table is pretty far.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And for my second, there.
25.4 millimeters.
In an inch.
Wow.
They're bigger than that,
Yeah.
though.
They're
Oh, in
probably-
an inch. Oh, okay. I was
They're
saying,
probably
he knew
30.
the exact
Yeah,
size. That's amazing.
Probably
I'll
30
actually just
millimeters.
go back and look into our Amazon orders and link to the actual ones that we
Perfect.
ordered. All right.
Awesome.
Hey, thank
Yay!
you, Vince.
Thanks, Vince.
Thank you very much. Super chat.
Oh, hey, look,
Vince.
maybe
All
it
right.
showed up in the.
I know. Yay.
We finally
All
we got an
The
update.
new
It finally
update.
worked.
Yes.
Cool.
Yay, software. Thank you very much, Vince.
you.
All right. So we are done
Okay.
placing. All
Yep.
of us have 4 left. So those 4 can be set aside. And if Dan has any available, it is
I
his
have
turn.
1 available. So flip that up. It is advance. So please move my little guy from, yep, that one to that other planet. So there is a legal path. I can go jump to the factory world first.
So I guess technically he went.
Exactly. I'm doing that so Amanda's special power is basically teleporting
Right, through warp storms.
through
she
warp
can't.
storms.
So you're done.
So
here.
I'm at least making that a little bit harder.
So that actually leave it out here so people can
yeah,
see
sure.
that. Okay,
What
that's
we did.
done. Amanda's action now. She has 2 choices.
Three
choices. I stand corrected. Yeah, literally, Vince placing a bet on Amanda.
Let's see.
And
Let's-
now people are going to be like, well, you have to worry about, the gambling on
Right.
Stop, that's not it.
It's super chat. It's
right,
fine.
Right.
Okay, so I'm gonna dominate here.
Okay, which is gain assets from every friendly world in the active system.
So I
I
get-
know you know that.
I get a flag and
No, ma'am.
I get money.
Yep. Only on the
Only on the one I'm on.
planets you are on.
So
Right. And so not all banners have assets. So this one has nothing.
I get
it
nothing
has
from that.
material, but it does not have assets. Okay.
That.
So-
And my whenever I do a dominate action, my
Whack-a-mole.
Taint of Chaos. When you resolve a dominate order, you may place 1 cultist from the active system and place it on a friendly or uncontrolled world in an adjacent system.
The key being adjacent.
The key also being place, because
Right.
place is not move, which is why she can go through warp storms.
Correct.
So, but it has to be unoccupied or friendly. So
Right.
if you look at the board, cannot go to either of those, which are orthogonally adjacent. Cannot go to any of these because they are, even though they're orthogonally adjacent, they are not empty.
That was close.
This is literally your only option if you wish. The interesting thing, that's going to be worth 2 material. And had she placed a dominate action token here in anticipation of doing that, she would then get both of those tokens
Right.
there.
I'm gonna move over there.
Okay,
Get some cash.
cool. All right, take your action back, and that goes there. Nope, leave it there so people can see what we've done already. Okay, so for me, I will go ahead and dominate as well. So for me, I will get 1 double material and a wild. So the material, and I am a really, really big fan of getting my my Wraith Guards out early. So I will go ahead and take a Forge Hammer.
Forge hammer.
There. So for those 2, this one has none, and boom. Then my dominate action, let me make sure I have this. Yeah, there. So my dominate action, the Eldar says that whenever you resolve a dominate order, that shouldn't go there. You may take 1 of your units from a world in the active system and place it on a friendly world in any system. So we go back to here. So this is the active system because that was there. So I can take any of these here and place it to any friendly world in any system. So literally my only choice is right there. And that's not a terrible idea. So I will go ahead and take my Wraith
Big
Guard
guy.
and place it
Oh, he's routed.
right there.
He's really tired from the run.
Right.
That was a long teleport.
long.
It really
time.
was, yeah. So
Hyperspace
this
is tiring.
comes here, boom, done. Dan, you're up.
Okay. Would you flip my token over there, please? So deploy. I'm going to get some things.
Gonna get some stuff.
Some stuff. So I have to build units first. So I will do that. So consulting my faction sheet here, I can build 1 of my small ships for 2.
And ships always go into void.
Please. Yep. And I can build a scout for 2. That's my smallest
Where do you want
ground
him?
unit. With the base with the big guy, please.
With the Space Marine.
Perfect. So I used 4. Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay, and real quick, if you guys didn't see, Fairy Sudura, I think, said they're 32 millimeter cases.
Oh, okay.
That's the size on those. They're coin cases for those that just want to Google it. That's what they are. So this comes back to you, sir.
Thank you.
I am now going to deploy as well. Let's see. I'm going to use my 2 material
Okay.
to build a factory right here.
Okay. And you cannot build units. Why?
Because I did not have a factory.
Previously, and buildings are always after units. All right. Next, I will strategize, which is purchase an order upgrade or a combat upgrade or both, and then that goes on to my event deck. Thank you. That's what it's called.
Right.
So I'm gonna just show you guys. Normally we would go ahead and take our next turns, but so here, you have to have a unit in that system to activate that. So over on here, so my strategize, I have already decided on what I'm going to do, and I'm going to go ahead and bring in the Wraithguard Advance. So here are the things that you have to check. So it's level 0 because I own no cities. That's okay. That's good. Then I have to pay 2 material. So I will do that. So that will drop that down to 4. Or actually, we'll just leave that at 6 and we'll just pay the 2 material that we had there. So I have now paid for the cards. You take both cards, place them into your combat deck. But when you do that, you also have to remove a pair of cards that you are replacing. And
You always have 10 cards in your combat deck.
Correct.
No matter how many you buy.
So I'm actually going to remove the Ranger Support, both cards, because I'm adding the pair of cards. I'm removing the 2 Ranger Support cards, and technically these are available to me later on if I wish to kind of trade down, I guess, back to my original cards. Probably not going to happen.
Can't think of a situation in which you'd want to do that,
seems
but you
weird.
can.
Right. So I now have 10 cards in my combat deck. Then, in addition to that, if I wish, I can go ahead and bring in one of these. And I'm thinking 3, 5. I will bring in, notice that's a level 0, level 1s, and then level 2. I have no cities, so I'm at level 0. This is the only one I can bring in. So I'm actually going to set my cards aside so we don't get confused what I have access to. So I am going to purchase this. So that's going to cost me 1 material, dropping that to 5. And now if I do an orbital strike, I get cool stuff, bonuses. I'll talk about that later if and when that comes about. So I have done that. Then what I do is I take my strategized token, put it on top of the deck, and remember, I now get to do one of the actual cards that I get to draw. I get to draw one and resolve the entire thing.
Right.
So that's why it won't go out here, because it's actually on my deck. All right, so done.
I have no top level order tokens, so I simply pass my turn.
Oh, okay, which you will get to do them all.
Yes.
You just don't get to do them right now. Amanda, you have 2 options. So hopefully all this is making sense to y'all. And it will pick up the pace after the first round.
Fight!
Oh, okay, game on. So where did you move from, Amanda? So important to note now, whenever you do a advance order, and you may have mentioned this, but I want to drive this point home. Indulge me, if Amanda was here and she had a path, let's say it were here, she could not move a unit from here into there and from there. It's from one system to one system only, correct?
You can move in the active
There.
system. You can move from within the active system and one adjacent.
Cool. Only one only.
Right.
Cash tokens can't be spent on upgrades, only builds. Okay.
Right.
So no big deal.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even notice.
No,
that.
it's okay. So it's no big deal. So I will drop this down to, it essentially is going to spend the same for me. So I was just making the calculation easier,
Right.
but fair point.
Forged tokens can also not be used on upgrades,
Good
if
call.
I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's what
All
he
right.
said.
Okay.
All right, so we're having our first combat.
Okay.
So first things first, you
Roll
both,
some dice.
you both, how many dice do you each get?
I get 3.
I get 1.
Okay, so Amanda is getting 3 dice.
I'm not afraid.
Okay. So Dan will play over here, and Amanda will play down in her corner. So Amanda rolled 2 battle cats, because the guns look like cats, we've determined.
It took me a while to see that, but now that's all I can see.
Right, now
is
you
cats.
can't see a guy.
No.
And Amanda rolled 1 defensive die. Dan rolled 1 defensive die. So now they're each going to select 5 cards.
Well, draw 5 cards.
When I say select,
Select.
yeah, draw the top 5
Select
after
from the
shuffling.
top of the deck.
And
Randomly.
then they will both play 1 card face down simultaneously. And then the attacker will resolve theirs first, which in this case is the Warmonger, i.e. the Chaos Marines, i.e. Amanda the Warmonger.
Rawr.
This is hard and I don't like it. Okay, so I have selected my card.
Okay. Corn's Rage. Spend 1 battle cat die to gain 3 battle cats.
Right, so on the cards, can you hold a combat card up to the
Oh,
yeah,
camera?
sure.
Is that possible?
Yeah, actually, I will show
yeah.
Amanda's card
Yeah.
real quick.
And then
So you'll
I can do
see
something
that it
else as well.
says spend 1
Let me
attack.
bring it around. There we go. Because the glare, because I brought it
Yeah,
up. There you go.
it's hard. So spend 1 attack in a square, which means an attack die, to get 3.
Oh, hell. Here, just make your screen bigger, people.
Yeah.
There you go. Spend 1 die.
Right, the square is a die, to gain 3 attack circles, which are tokens. So the tokens only last 1 execution round.
I.e. 1 round of battle.
1 card play,
Right.
exactly.
Good call.
But the dice and the symbols on the side of the card, on the left there, last the entire battle.
Okay. So Amanda sacrificed 1 die to get a temporary 3 attack instead of
Exactly.
1 attack.
And
Okay.
because I have a Chaos Space Marine, my opponent chooses and routes one of his units unless he spends 1 defense.
So now Dan has a choice. So because Amanda has a Chaos Space Marine, he either routes it, which means it can take less damage and can't trigger the bottom of his card potentially, or he spends his defense die, which is a permanent die for the battle. So choices.
If I spend my defense die, I'm definitely going to die. If I don't spend it, I only might die. So I think I will become routed.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So Amanda's card is done. Now we resolve Dan's.
I have reconnaissance. If you are attacking, look at your opponent's face down combat card. I'm not attacking. I've already seen the card, so reconnaissance doesn't do me any good.
And the bottom of the card,
Does not matter.
and why?
Because, so on the bottom of each card, there's a unit ability, and if you have that unit in the battle, you get to do a special thing. If that unit is not routed. So mine says I get to do a special thing if I have a scout, but because my scout is routed, he does not trigger the card. So I just get 2 temporary defense.
All right. So now we actually fight, or
Yes.
y'all do, as it were. So Amanda attacks first
I
as
attack
the attacker.
for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Right.
5. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 defense. So I take 1 damage. My scout has a health of 2.
And to show what he is
Right,
referencing,
it's the
he's
skulls.
referencing the skulls right here on his scout. So mine are strength different than his.
Mm-hmm.
He has an attack of 1 and a defense of 2. Mine's the opposite. So he
Right.
has a defense of 2 here.
So since I'm routed and she's not doing enough damage to kill me, he just stays routed.
It just
He
nothing
just
happens.
soaks up the bullets and
Right.
that's it.
Now, to finish the first execution round, Dan gets the hit back.
But-
Even though he's routed, it still
Right.
exists.
Right. But I have no attack icons anywhere.
And
No
Amanda-
cards, no dice, no
Amanda
tokens.
would absorb 1 of them
Right.
if you did. So now, all the temporary...
The tokens go away
Okay.
and we play another card.
Yep, there you go. And the dice and the cards are all cumulative through the 3 rounds of combat. So again, they play them both simultaneously face down,
Right now I'm just trying to survive.
and then Amanda resolves hers as the attacker first.
Lore of Chaos. Your opponent may choose and route one of his units to gain a die, but you're already routed, so
Cannot
you
do
can't
that.
at all.
Right.
So since you cannot, I can place one free cultist or iconoclast in the area.
So, whack-a-mole.
Yep, here they come.
So, notice it said or an iconoclast, which is a
Right,
ship,
it's a ship.
but in the area. An area is one of the 4 zones within a system. So she cannot, because we're only talking about this one.
Right.
So she cannot place an iconoclast unless it were a space battle.
Right.
And now that I have a cultist there, I gain 2 space cats, or whatever.
Two temporary attack.
Temporary
Yeah.
attack cats.
There we go.
Just the worst. Okay.
Right. Hence whack-a-mole. They pop up
Here we go.
everywhere.
That planet only has a capacity of 1, so that makes me feel a little bit better.
So, meaning at the end of the battle, something will have to die
Something
for
will
Amanda.
die. So, Blessed Power Armor. So it's another defense icon, and I get 2 more defense tokens. And I cannot trigger my unit ability because I only have a routed unit.
Okay.
Okay.
So Amanda attacks.
I attack for 4.
Why 4?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 defense.
So nothing happens, and then you swing back.
Still have no attack whatsoever.
Round 3, and the
Yep.
final round of combat. So the temporary ones go away. And we're walking you guys through this step by step because it's the first battle. We won't necessarily walk it through this slowly going
Right.
forward.
Once you get used to it, you can go through it fairly quickly.
Yeah. It's just the selection of the cards which becomes really,
Right.
really good decisions. All right.
Foul worship. Gain 1 die.
So you worship a bird.
Yes.
Okay.
Right, so there's an icon that shows a blank die. That means you roll 1. If it has
Okay.
a symbol on it, you just get a die with that
Okay.
symbol on it.
So, because I have a cultist there, if my opponent has at least 1 routed unit, gain 1 defense for each unrouted cultist.
What kind of defense? Temporary or
Temporary.
die? Okay.
Skull Shield.
Okay. And sir?
Faith in the Emperor. Remember, I have the Emperor's blessing.
I
don't
did
remember
read
who
that,
told me that,
but
but I
You
do.
believe them.
With the Emperor's will, yes. So that's gain 1 die
Okay. Go.
and attack. Can't do the bottom because I'm routed.
Okay, so Amanda
Still.
attacks.
I attack for 3.
I have 1, 2, 3 defense.
Nothing happens. And your attack, sir?
My attack is 1.
Amanda
1,
blocks.
2, 3.
Okay, nothing happens. So now we go to morale.
Morale.
So what units are standing up? Those get, in Amanda's case, she has the equivalent of a Wraith Guard for me and a Aspect Warrior. So she would get that amount of morale, which is a total of what for you, Amanda?
4.
Okay, so just like mine, she would get 2 morale for that and 2 morale for that. So she gets 4 for that. Then on your card,
That's 1.
so that's a total of 5. Think of them kind of victory points for the battle. Okay? And Dan, how much
5.
do you have?
Oh, what are you doing? You're casting a spell on my guy. A chaos spell. So because my unit is routed, he contributes no morale. But I have 1 on my card, so I have 1.
So 5 is bigger than 1.
Correct.
So Amanda wins.
Right.
So now you have to bug out.
I must retreat.
Yes.
So I'm going to look what I... There are a lot of specific rules about retreating. So defenders must go to a friendly area.
Okay, cannot be in unclaimed or neutral area.
Right.
Must go to friendly.
If there's no friendly one available, then they can go to a neutral area.
Okay.
They also cannot retreat to where the attackers just came from.
Okay.
Because
so
that wouldn't
Amanda,
really be a retreat.
You came from here?
Correct.
Okay, so you cannot retreat from
Right.
here. Period.
Yep. That's really my only option.
Yep.
And if anything is not routed, when it retreats, it becomes routed.
And if it was routed,
It just stays routed.
okay.
That's
easy
pretty
enough.
much the only thing routed units can do is retreat. They can't move with any other action, but they can retreat.
Okay, cool.
So I was able to keep my guy alive.
Yes.
Right.
Which
So
is something.
mission accomplished, right?
Yes.
Now, in addition to that, we should point out that when Amanda played her advance there, you can only instigate 1 combat
Right.
per action. Meaning, this being the action, she could only do 1 fight. That 1 fight is there, the fight is done. Amanda is done. Cool. So now all the dice come back, all the tokens come back, and that's all she wrote.
And I'll note that Amanda does not get this objective token yet. It
Right.
happens at the end of the turn, so it's possible that someone could come in and kick her out.
Which, if you notice, there are 2 actions left there for her to possibly get kicked out.
Yep. So now at the end of the advance order, then we look at unit capacity again.
Okay, so now there is only one skull here, meaning there can only be one thing that lives, because there's only enough food
And
to
it
go
cannot
around.
retreat.
Right, it
So
just
it
dies.
has to die. So
Yep.
cultist
Well,
will
even
die.
if it could retreat, it just dies.
Okay. Cultist dies.
Yep. He's
Okay.
done.
All right, so it did its job to help with the fight, and then they went away.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, he got out there for free. You aren't losing too
Yeah,
much.
seriously, let's not get too greedy there. So now my turn. I'm going to go ahead and deploy, which I'm going to purchase units. So now let's switch back. My limit here is going to be I can purchase 3. This planet can hold 4, this one can hold 3, and then 3 and 3 in
Right.
space.
All voids have a capacity of 3.
All right, so we're going to look at mine. I have a total of 5 material that I can spend. Well, I have no cities, so I'm limited to the 0 level, except I have a forge token. I'm going to spend the forge token to then advance to the level 1 to allow me to build or create or purchase a Wraith Guard. So a Wraith Guard is going to cost this token. Then it's going to cost me 3 material, so I will spend these 2 and 1 more to drop me down to 2. Then, by doing that, I'm going to take my Wraith Guard. It must be in this system, and I will go ahead and place that right there. So now, back to my board, I can build as many units as up to 3,
Up to 3,
if I wish.
yep, if you can pay for it.
Or I could build a bastion. I guess technically I could build a factory on the other planet. It doesn't make sense to do it, but instead, this is not a defensive game. This is an offensive game. So I'm going to build an aspect warrior. Now, at the 0 level, you know what? I will not build an aspect warrior. Instead, I will build purchase a Hellborn frigate. Same cost, again, still at the 0 level. So that will cost me my last 2 material. So I will grab a Hellborn frigate, and I can place it anywhere in the system. Well, these are the only 2 options that I have. We will place that puppy right there. And that is the end of that action. So boom, done. Third action, sir.
Oh, I didn't get a chance to note during our battle that when you look up your morale, it is the one on top of the Imperial Aquila
There you go.
Thank you.
on your faction
Not-
sheet.
not-
And for those that don't know, that Dan is a linguist, like you have a master's,
master's, yeah,
right?
a trained linguist.
So he is a trained linguist. So this stuff matters.
Absolutely. It's not a moth.
It
is
is.
an Imperial
It's so a
Aquila.
moth.
Dan, you're up.
It could be. Okay. Strategize. So I still have units in that system, despite Amanda's
Even if
best
they were
efforts.
all routed, that would still be fine.
Yes, exactly. So I get to purchase 1 combat upgrade, 1 order upgrade, or both.
Cool.
I don't have a whole lot of money to do that.
So you only have 2 material to spend.
Yes.
So in the to be able to speed things up now that they've seen me purchase cards, go ahead and then Amanda, this technically will come back to him and go onto his
event deck.
event deck. And Amanda, your action.
Can you flip me over there,
Yes.
please? Okay. I am going to build some things. Let's see. I don't have any cities yet, so I can't build anything that is not a 0, and I also don't have any hammers, so I still can't build anything that's not 0.
So moral of the story, level 0. It is,
Yes.
Build some cities.
right? Or that.
Or build some cities.
See, and that's where I go wrong. To be able to build the level 3, you must have cities.
Yes.
I have not been good at that so far.
It takes a lot of time and investment to get that high.
Mhm.
I feel like if you do, you may be at a serious advantage. So those
If
things
you can
have to be
survive.
tough to, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to build 2 cultists and
An iconoclast.
1 iconoclast.
Love that word.
I know.
And can you please put the iconoclast in the same void as the other one? Put 1 cultist in each planet.
Okay.
Nice.
And notice there's a limit of 1 here, a limit of 5.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
why
even know it went up to 5.
that's why I
thought
did
4 was
neither.
the
That's
max.
why I
Yes,
put
in
my
there.
factory there.
That makes sense,
Very good decision.
right? In hindsight, I probably should have put mine there. All right. Well,
You know what they say.
yep. Knowing's half the battle.
Hindsight is easier to see.
All right. So my final action and the final action of the first round is.
I have one left.
Oh, because you got skipped.
Because I got skipped.
That's right. Right. It's right there in front of me. So this is to deploy, which is to build units or structures. Well, my original plan was to build a structure, but I had poor foresight and spent all my material, so I'm broke. So instead, I'm going to go ahead and take this, and because I'm not using it, I'll put it on there. So I actually have 2 cards to choose from now. So it's wasted, but not the end of the world.
Yeah. So I will be dominating in this system.
I like what Joe says. Why build the city when you can just take one?
Skull.
Yeah. Right?
So I'm dominating in this system. I was hoping to get that wild, but I got kicked out of there too fast. I have a really cool special ability that costs 1, but I did not save any for it. So I will be taking...
Which you cannot
cash
use
token.
the cash token to use.
Right,
that.
that is only
That's
for
interesting.
units.
Okay.
So I take the cash token. I can't do my special ability.
And
That's really all there is to it.
okay, so now that's the end of the operation round or operation phase. So now, actually, and these are online. So these little
We'll link
handy
that
dandy
as
little-
well.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are great.
yeah. So now the refresh phase. Collect objectives.
Hey,
I'm done.
Only one.
Bev or Rob or Brad or someone, will you please DM me on Slack and remind me to do that?
Okay. All right. So now Amanda gets her objective.
Dun, da, da.
Oh, read what it
Take
is.
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
And what
let's
is it? Which
let's
one?
look.
It's on the back of your board.
Okay, let's see. That one is the Hellforge. The greatest warriors wield weapons wrought in the fires of a Hellforge. On the world below, I shall forge my rage into a blade of purest hate.
Wow.
She's getting into it,
Yeah, I know.
right?
You sounded very much like a Chaos Space Marine.
Thank you.
Seriously, I am a little scared now.
I like it.
Okay, so now we collect material.
I did take drama in high school.
Really?
And we will do this simultaneously. So for me, I'm taking 2, 3, and 4 material.
1, 2, 3,
Also
4,
take 4.
4.
5,
4 is
6,
really
7.
not very many.
I
It's
get
not- it's not.
7.
What?
Seriously?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
She cheats. Okay.
Rolling in cash.
Right now,
Cash money.
CACHE
we're thinking
over there.
not CASH, Mr.
Yes.
Linguist. Rally routed units. So there's only 1.
Stand back up.
Okay, cool. And now draw events and move warp storms. This does happen in turn order.
Right.
So Dan, you do have 1
I
disc.
have 1 token, so I get to draw this.
You want to bring it up here?
Oh,
the
yeah,
folks
yeah,
can
sure.
See it? There you go.
Exterminatus.
Okay.
That's right.
So
So I will first move a Warp Storm.
really, the World Eaters just want to cuddle. Yeah, obviously. They weren't hugged enough as children.
So
Obviously.
I will
Yeah,
move that
as baby
storm
World Eaters.
there. 'cause I
World
don't
Munchers.
Yes. Right.
World
Munchkins.
Right.
And then this is a scheme, so it stays on my side of the board. It makes my orbital strikes
Stronger.
better.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Amanda.
All right, I did not have a disc, so I just get to do the warp storm.
Up higher so they can see it. Up next to you. There you go.
Uh,
So this one can move there, or this one can move there. Those are your 2 options. Ma'am. I'll go ahead and shuffle while we're waiting. So Amanda is a third of the way to the end of the game. You and I are infinitely further.
Yes. That's really far.
It is.
I will move the warp storm up there over 1.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so for me, I have 2 actions on there. So I get to draw 2 cards. So let's see what we have. We have a scheme and a tactic and moving the warp storms. So the tactic is spend a material, which I now have, to place a free city on a
Wow.
friendly or uncontrolled world that does not contain a structure
Cheating.
or
Cheating.
an elder objective token. That would be really cheating. Or the scheme, This is going to be one hell of a scheme to make me choose it. At the start of an assess damage step of combat, you may discard this card to take all of your units in this combat and place them on one friendly area. Yeah, we're going to put that scheme back. Okay, so we will do the tactics. So first things first is the warp storm. So again, because I am spatially challenged, this one, I really only have one choice, because I could either move this one up here, no, or move it here, and, well, you know what? On second thought, we will actually move it right here. So that's the last one, so now we'll flip them over to the pretty side, so we can show what the real color of a warp storm is. And this said, spend 1 material. Here, let me spend that. There we go. To place a free city on any friendly or uncontrolled world that does not contain a structure or an elder objective token. I'm cool with that. So this looks pretty safe for right now. So I will place it right there, and we will call that Elderville.
Not Dunsville, because it looks like a dunce cap.
It does, but no, it's
I think
Elderville.
it's Dunsville.
Yeah.
So this is done. So that goes back, and that's it for drawing events. Then the end of the round. So we passed the first player.
First player
marker.
token goes
Dun,
over
da, da, da.
there.
And
We go
second
to
round.
round 2.
Rinse and repeat, and we get our action tokens back, and boom, you guys have now seen how to play Forbidden Stars. Cool. So, are you guys able to follow along? Is it making sense for those that haven't played it? And I will try not to shuffle. I will just put them there and just think.
I think the only thing that we haven't shown so far is the orbital strike.
Right, pretty much.
That's pretty simple.
That
It'll probably
and like
happen
what
at some
happens
point.
on if you can't retreat and stuff
Right,
like
things
that.
like that.
I apologize for my cough. Still, it's still hanging around, guys. I'm
This is
fighting
still the
off.
same one.
Yeah, well, it might be a new one.
Man.
He's going to the doctor.
Yeah,
good.
Amanda has convinced me to go to the doc next
Does
week.
it take a lot of convincing?
Not really, not when it's trying to be sick for the third time in 5 weeks. So, all right. I will do something. I promise. Okay, I have the order in which I need to do it. So, and this is where it's really easy to get confused, right? I can't really think out loud, obviously, because of the situation.
Go ahead, go for it.
Right? But the important thing to remember is whatever I place first is what's resolving last. So you have to work backwards in this. And I think, okay, so I have my first action, and that will be, there, done. So I apologize that we're not thinking our way through out loud on this part, but it would wreck the game.
Yeah.
It's too big of a aspect of the game.
Right.
Cool, Michael. Glad to hear it. All right, he says, yep, definitely makes sense. Cool.
Oh, good.
And also, normally what we would do whenever we have with the top-down view here, we would lay all our figures on its side so you guys can see it. But because that actually
Means something.
Yeah, it does. We can't do that, so apologize.
You can sort of see it. I mean, you can see which ones are bigger.
Well, what we can do here is kind of, so we can see what it's like. No, yeah, you actually can see that. Not terribly.
It's not too bad.
It's not too bad.
Sorry.
Bless you.
That was probably really loud.
Achoo.
Thanks a lot, Tesla. We appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day doing life stuff, and thank you for the kind words on the Patreon drive. We extremely nervous and very excited about it. Oh, one other thing that we haven't mentioned, depending on the length of this, we may take a 10-minute intermission in which Rado is going to talk to you guys. But we'll see, depending on how quick. Last night we played a game that was over in 2 hours flat.
2 hours.
So-
The first or second time we played, it looked like it was going to go closer to 4.
Yeah.
That could have been because we were new,
Newish,
or
right.
but we still haven't quite figured out how long this game takes on average.
Somewhere 2 to 4 hours for 3 players.
Yeah.
All right, so I know I am doing that. For you, Rob, I am setting these aside. And that's funny, I just cleared my hand
Yes,
like
you did.
poker chips. Oy vey.
Going there again.
Okay.
Ugh.
So you can see, as long as somebody isn't APing, or, with the extended discussion that's going on in a guild about AP and how saying that has negative connotation, it's just, you're lost in thought. As long as people are thinking when it's not their turn, engaged in the game, I'm okay with it, unless it becomes excessive over the course of the entire game.
I haven't read that yet. I should read that.
It's, some people feel very strongly about things.
I believe it.
Thank you.
Okay, so next I need to do that. So we're going to do that. Team
Okay.
Edward, you will go there.
In the far corner, please. Thank you.
Oops. I killed your guy.
Routed.
Right, Amanda.
He was knocked into the
That's
warp.
it, like, sorry about that.
You're okay.
Sorry.
He's spiky.
Iconoclast equal.
What is that? That is a strike
Hey,
cruiser.
Jose.
Straight cruiser.
Welcome.
Huh.
Okay, Alexander, that makes sense. Afterwards, let us know after the fact if it did make sense to you. I think you did a great job teaching it.
Oh, thanks.
Please.
And this is, I think this is now my
On top here?
Yes, please.
6th play of this ever, and it took a couple for it to really click.
Huh. You're first, right, Amanda?
Yes.
Okay, so now here becomes one of the really interesting decision points in this game. Let me explain it as I make it, because this is my last action, so I feel like I can do it. I'm going to place this here, but it's possible that I don't want that to activate first. So I have that as a option. If Amanda uncovers this, then that would give me that option as well. But if that's my only option, then I have to do it or choose to, put it onto my event deck instead. Right. So it's really interesting. Like if you stall to try and wait to where you're going to be first here, it might happen in an order in which you plan on being able to do something here before you do that. That's not necessarily the case here, but to give you the kind of idea of the stuff that you're thinking about during the course of the game. So that's my 4 actions. I have 4 left. Set those aside.
And you only have so much control. You can plan all you want, and someone will find a way.
But it's all player controlled. That's the important thing.
That's true.
Now, obviously, the die rolls and the draw of you're drawing half your deck. Yeah. That's out of your control. But as far as this aspect, you planned it, and the other players are getting in your way.
Very strategic.
And very interactive.
Yes.
So that is all?
I believe that's all
for
you.
All right, Amanda, your honor. So she has 3 options, and of course she does that.
Dominate.
So, hammer.
Forge token.
That's it. And then that's it, right?
But you can do your
Oh, right.
Special.
Yeah.
Your whack-a-mole.
Forgot about that.
And what is that again?
Mega teleport.
When you resolve a dominate order, you may take 1 cultist from the active system and place it on a friendly or uncontrolled world in an adjacent system.
So meaning not here, because those are all controlled. Those are both
Either
open.
of those 2.
So if you want a forge token, because you don't have a city, or a couple of extra material, or you leave your dudes where they are.
And
They are safe right now.
please move that cultist over to the one.
This one?
Yeah.
With the
To
forge?
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. That's Amanda's whack-a-mole.
Thank you.
Okay. So for my option, I have 2. I will choose... Oops, psych. All right. So I will strategize. Maybe. Possibly. I'm not sure. I did not want to do that first, but life goes on. So, to strategize, that is purchasing cards, remember? However, I will go ahead and do that. So I'm going to actually purchase Fire Dragon's Vengeance. So these 2 cards, so it's level 0. That's legit. I can do a level 1, but there are no level 1 combat upgrades.
Right.
There's
Only order
upgrades, which are these guys, which nice, but not gonna. So I'm going to do Fire Dragon's Vengeance. So those will stay there, and then I'm going to add them to my deck and replace 2 of them. While I'm doing that, Dan, go ahead, take your. Oh, and one other thing, I have to pay for the cards. That costs 2 material. I'm down to 1. Done.
You have really cool sounding cards.
Fire
Really good
Dragon's
names.
Vengeance. Rawr.
Rawr.
Could you flip that one in the bottom corner, please?
I'm
Thank you.
actually going to get rid of, for those that are familiar with the game, Command of the Autarch. It's one of my kind of regenerate cards for offensive cards.
So I am deploying. I will deploy a scout, one of my little guys, into this planet here. That is not at all amassing a war force.
You're the man behind the
It's a
curtain.
convention.
Doesn't look
Right.
like it at
Yep.
all.
Convention.
It's a Space Marine convention.
And also, this, remember, will go under there, so I will then be able to
Right.
do that. Okay.
I'm going to save my last 2 material.
Okay.
Strategize.
I'm shocked. Shocked, I said, that Amanda chose to not use that one.
I need to strategize. I get in like modes in this. Like the last one we played, I dominated a lot because I was thinking like, oh, I didn't dominate enough last game.
Right, so you
and then now I'm like,
over the end,
yeah.
over the top.
And I'm like, oh, I didn't
Yep.
strategize very much.
Yep, completely agree, Powell. Is it Powell or Powell? Linguist?
Pavel
Powell
would be my guess.
Oh, the W's a V?
In
In that,
like Eastern
Yeah.
European, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That would be my
Powell.
guess.
Okay, all right.
the
And help
Adamski.
me out with the, I'm going to go with South American name, Jaoa. How do you pronounce that?
Jehovah?
I'm not sure. That looks Portuguese to me.
Okay, it could be Portuguese. Well, I'm thinking Brazil.
That's what
right?
I mean,
So,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, right. Okay. Well, welcome, Mr. Redunes. All right,
Just
so.
give me my strategize.
All right, yes,
And
ma'am.
you can go ahead and.
All right, so just as I planned, obviously,
Likely story.
right, I will go ahead, come on over here. So now we have a really interesting decision, okay? Amanda has 1 token here. She, in theory, wants to go there, but she can't. She can't jump the warp storm there. She doesn't have any combat stuff that allows her to jump that warp storm. So I might voluntarily. Okay, so first and foremost, I can move a ship over there if I wish. I elect not to. So I'm going to move land units. So I will go whoop, and then I'm going to go there. So let's get it on. So
Okay.
it's me and Dan gonna dance. All right. So now, for my guys, we have a Wraith Guard, which is going to get me 3 dice, and we have a Aspect Warrior, which is going to get me 2 dice for a total of 5 dice.
Did you say 3 for the Wraith Guard?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm looking at 2.
No wonder
I'm
you win so many battles.
obviously. So 2 and 2. I apologize. And you.
I get a
No
grand total
wonder.
of 2.
All right, so 4 dice. So I rolled 2 attack and 2 morale, which is awesome if I win the battle or
if we get
survive.
to that stage.
Oh, over
I
here.
rolled 1 defense and 1 Imperial Aquila.
Okay, so
Morale.
now we're gonna shuffle here. Give me a second. Okay, so 5 cards. Normally you guys would play along on my hand, but just, I don't think we need to do that for this. Yeah, that'll work to start.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm the attacker. I play first. It's striking scorpions. So double strike right there. So it has a defense. I gain a die.
It's not
so,
scorpion. It's scorpions.
Yeah, so
There's multiple
yeah,
scorpions.
exactly. Hello. All right, another attack. Nice. Then,
Ooh.
Aspect Warrior or Frigate. I have an Aspect Warrior there. Your opponent loses 1 die of his choice, and he cannot choose my own dice, or my dice. Sorry.
All right, I will toss my morale.
Okay, so done.
I have
Your turn.
no
sir.
morale left. My guys are sad.
Right.
Blessed Power Armor,
I'm shocked.
which
I say.
I gain 2 defense tokens.
And the bottom.
Does not trigger for scouts. So I
Okay. So I attack
nothing.
first. So I have 3 attack.
I have 4 defense.
Okay, and then you attack.
0.
Okay, so we move on. So he loses his temp tokens.
That's all I need.
What is your defense on your little dudes, on your
They
scouts?
defense 2.
2. Nope. All right, I will go ahead and play Howling Banshees.
Oh, it's a dark L.
Ooh.
That is slightly beyond my linguistic ability.
Okay, all right. So Howling Banshees, I gain a die.
Stop that.
And we should also note you are limited to 8 dice
Yes.
total in a battle, no matter what. Okay. All right. Oh, more morale. Awesome. Not really.
They're just so happy.
All right. Aspect Warrior. I could spend a morale to force my opponent to choose and route one of his units. Excuse me.
Okay.
All right.
Routed.
Cool. All right. Your turn, sir.
Reconnaissance. So I'm not attacking, so I don't get to look at a card, but I gain either 2 attack or 2 defense.
This would be a curious choice for you.
I feel like it's not likely there's nowhere they can retreat, so surviving doesn't help them a whole lot.
Oh, your guys.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Right.
So I think I'm just going to try to weaken you as much as possible while I can.
All right. So
I can spend 1 morale to retreat one of my units, but I
Have no
don't have a
morale.
morale and can't retreat anywhere.
So I will hit you for 4. So that's 1 and 3 more for 4.
I have 3 defense,
So you take 1.
so I take 1.
And here's important note. It has to go to the unrouted
Right.
unit first.
Routed units cannot take damage until all of the unrouted units have taken damage first.
Okay, cool. And your attack, sir?
2.
All right. So the interesting decision I have now is my Aspect Warriors only have 1 defense, and it does carry on. So that 1 extra then would carry on to my Wraith Guard.
But you have 1 defense.
But I do have 1 defense, that's a fair point. So I actually, believe it or not, because I have 2 morale and you have none right now, I'm actually going to look at my cards first.
Good plan.
Right? Yeah. I'm going to actually route my Wraith Guard.
Okay.
So he has a 4 capability of damage, so
Wow.
he took some damage,
Yep.
but now he can take 4 more damage before he's eliminated.
Yep.
So my last play is going to be that.
Oh, that might change what I want to do. Nah, I don't think it does.
All right.
I get rid of my token.
So, Fire Dragon's Vengeance. So, comes with 2 guns. If I am attacking, I am. Your opponent cannot gain defensive tokens during this execution round, and because I kept my Aspect Warrior upright,
Nice.
I gain 2 defense. So, a little bit of protection on that as well.
I get 2 attack tokens
And good thing I
to
did.
go out swinging.
All right,
Just
so
not very hard.
attack-wise, I have 3, 4, 5, and 6.
I have 3 defense, so I take 3 damage. 1 scout takes 2 of them and dies. The other takes 1 and just stays there.
Okay. And your attack, sir?
Is 3.
And I have 1, 2, and 3. Nothing happens. So these all go away. That's the end of combat. So I have a total of 1 dude standing. The 1 guy standing gets me a total of 2 morale. Plus those 2 is a total of 4 morale versus.
0
All right.
morale-less.
So now you must retreat.
And I cannot.
Why can you cannot?
Because the only legal paths here are to this planet, which is not friendly, or to this planet, which is also not friendly. I can't make it to this neutral one. because there's no legal path. So there's nowhere that I can go, so I die.
Right. Mission accomplished. So
Mission
all the
failure.
cards come back, the dice clear, and that's the end of that combat. Done. And that will go there. All right. So Dan, you're up.
I will take the order from this system that I no longer have anyone in. It's going to be dominate. I will go to my event deck.
Okay. Well, you'll get good draws.
I'll get a lot of draws, that's for sure.
So Amanda does not have a choice. She must do this. And just as I expected, she's going potentially to advance. So she could just mosey on in. She would get more material, but she would lose her wild to do that.
Right.
Or she can mosey in this way, which just gives her +1 skulls,
Right.
but and protects that against you and gets her one closer to her objective.
I think protection against me is not a priority right now.
Probably not.
Kind of stuck in the corner.
I will move my Chaos Marine into there, please.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Okay, all right. All right, so for my action, I have no choice. Oh, hey, that would have been nice earlier. So gain assets, so I will gain a material. And because I have 1 Wraith Guard left, we will take a Forge Hammer, please. Thank you.
There you go.
And done.
And another one, there will be no... Oh.
Nope.
I don't remember why I put the... Oh, I remember. Okay. Nope.
Because you had dudes to be able to come over
Right.
here to get the wild, and
No
so
longer.
sorry. Yes.
No longer.
And Amanda cannot take an action.
Not sorry.
Not even a little bit. So then I will take my final action, which is to purchase units. So now I only have 1 material, but I have 2 extra there and a forge token. Oh, wow, that's weird. That equals 3. And what is this? A Wraith Guard, you say? So we'll spend that in both of the... Actually, wait a minute. I have a city now.
Ooh.
I will keep the Forge Hammer, and I will put out that with the material, and that will come right there. Note, even though this is the same system, I cannot generate here because it's now enemy controlled.
Right.
Right? Enemy occupied, if you
Yes.
will. And done. Dan?
Yep, that one. Advance. So I'm going to try to get that objective token.
So he
can't
actually can
decide.
bring all of these dudes over if he wants.
Actually, I want to maximize the material I get. So I'm considering leaving 1 person on this planet to get more money at the end of the turn.
That makes sense. All right.
But I've discovered that if you don't move into a planet with absolutely overwhelming force, there's a chance you're just going to lose.
There is just one.
Yeah, but
One-
we're whack-a-moles.
Oh, there's going to be a lot more. Okay, move everyone. Yep, move all those 3 guys.
Okay, these 3 are coming in.
Okay.
That it?
That's it.
Okay. And
I feel
interesting
pretty good about
note that he cannot take these guys and move them over here. They could
Right.
come in
That is no
here.
longer the active
So what he
system.
could have done, if you wanted, was leave him there and then whoop, whoop, something like
Right.
that if he wanted. Okay, so just as an
Feel pretty
example.
good about that.
Okay, cool. While you guys fight this out then, I'm going to run to the restroom real
Okay.
quick.
Let's roll some dice.
Alright. So I get
May the best Marine win.
1.
As a Marine, I feel like I'm allowed to say that.
Yeah,
For sure.
absolutely. How many?
1.
Just 1?
Just 1.
Only 1
yeah,
die?
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay, I get 4.
Cannon. Pew pew.
I came up with 2 attack and 2 defense.
I got a pew pew. Let's see.
I I can use, if I were to draw the card that I bought to upgrade, I would be able to use it, and I really like that card. I just cannot draw it to save my life. Okay.
Okay,
I
you're
am attacking,
attacking.
so I will reveal my card first. Ambush, which is gain 2 attack tokens,
Okay.
and because I have a scout there, when an enemy unit is routed during this execution round, it is destroyed unless your opponent spends a morale die.
All right, mine is Mark of Corn. I'm gonna spend this gun to get 3 temporary tokens.
Okay.
And the bottom doesn't work.
Okay. So, assess damage. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 attack.
And I have no defense.
That's rough.
Yeah. But as I die and run off screaming, I also hit you for 5.
Wow. Wow, that is much more than I expected. So I have 2 defense. So that leaves me with 3 to account for. So I will kill one of my scouts for 2.
Okay.
And I will rout the other scout. So that's all 3 damage.
All right.
Okay, I won the battle. So that means I get to take possession of this factory, which I like.
Yeah.
I'm just going to camp out here for a
Marsh.
The capacity here is 3. I
3.
only have 2 people there, so
good.
I'm good.
And I will just put this right here.
Okay, very good. That was the last order token.
That was the last order token. So now, while we're waiting for him, we can just go ahead and start cleaning up and
Yeah,
stuff, yeah?
so collect objectives.
Okay, so you get that one.
Woo!
He gets this
Oh,
one.
yeah, got that one.
I think that's it.
Okay. Oh, I need to read it.
You have to read it.
Okay, so I just discovered the Archaeotect Vault. The artifacts that reside within that vault were crafted by the machine priests of old. They must be rescued.
Oh my.
And I rescued them.
Yes, you did. Good
Yes.
job. I don't get one, so
Machine
I will
priest
just...
artifacts. Okay, so collect objectives we did.
We did
Collect
that.
material.
Oh, right. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I get 8.
I have a grand total of 3, which is not
That
great.
does not sound like 8.
But
So you need to read what your objective is?
yes, you please read your objective.
Oh.
I discovered the Archaeotect Vault, which contains artifacts made by the machine priests of old.
All right. So I will flip that over and show folks. So we have I don't know. This is a Wraith wrought artifact. Such a treasure as this cannot but aid us in our purpose in a galaxy that has grown hostile to our presence.
I think that's what an Eldar sounds like.
It is today.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I have some very, very exciting news. So while I was out, real quick here, just for a quick little intermission, it is our patron drive that just began earlier today. We have since hit our first milestone, which
That was
is
fast.
at $2,500 a month. That we're going to do a second drawing for a game day around the world. So all of our $5 and up patrons go into a drawing. And we're going to do the drawing. I think the reasonable thing to do you think at the end of the month or do it this week?
I'd do it this week.
Because it's the people that have been
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
right
They have
now.
they have more
So
chance.
you have a
than-
little
Yeah.
bit of time to get in. So
Yeah.
how about on Friday, whatever day of the week Friday is, I think it's the 6th, we're going to do a drawing for all of our $5 and up patrons that wherever we draw, if they're outside of 600 miles away from Denver, Colorado, basically outside of like Kansas City and Las Vegas and further, we're going to bring a game day to you sometime in the next year.
We're already going to Sweden for our first one?
We are.
That is
Sweden
so
was the
cool.
first one, and we're going there in June, actually,
Okay.
for the Sweden one. So if that's something that interests you, check it out, pledgehc.com. And with that, we'll go back to the game. And thank you, everybody.
Yes.
That's really exciting. So
Craziness.
I loved Sweden when we were there.
I
It was
hope to
great.
love Sweden. We actually were going to go in February, and then Space Monkey the winner. His mom didn't like him. Space Monkey said, yeah, that's pretty much the worst time of year
I'd
to
recommend
visit.
not
so
doing
he was
that.
like, June sounds good.
Yeah.
So
That was a good
yeah.
decision.
So that's very exciting. Oh, hey, Brango's here. Hey, Matt. He's at work. You can tell it's a slow day
He's
at
at
work.
work?
Yeah, that's why he's not part of the stream. He had to make up
Oh,
because he's been sick.
I see.
Okay, so we got our objectives.
Yep.
We collect material now.
We collected our material.
Okay, so I'm at 1, 2, 3. You got to be kidding me. I went down in material?
That's what I had too. I don't feel so bad now.
I had 8.
Shh.
I now have 12.
Isn't that crazy?
She cheats. I'm telling you, she cheats. So 3. Okay, so there's material. Rally routed units. You guys obviously did not do that.
Nope.
Nope.
Could you rally
And
my
I most
scout,
certainly
please?
can because I am nowhere near you, and that's
Thank
safe.
you very much.
Then draw events, starting with Amanda.
Trying to decide which one I want
Well,
to do.
show the folks.
I have a scheme that allows me to discard this to be able to go through a warp storm. Then I
Ooh.
also have this tactic, which allows me to draw 3 cards from the top of my event deck and resolve the ability of 1 and discard the others.
Oh, interesting.
I think I will do the tactic. 'cause
Okay,
that
so
sounds
it just
pretty
gives
cool.
you more cool options?
Right.
Okay.
So my warp storm movement is up and down.
Okay, so or up and same with that one.
There has to be a good name for these. We need to assign names to these, to the different types of warp storm movement.
I'm sure Pavel, he will help us.
Send a video.
How to
Tell
say
us how
your
to
name.
pronounce it.
There you go.
Contacted
at
heavy-
heavycardboard.com,
Pavel is
right.
close, but
Pavo.
that L just gets me.
Right.
I will move the middle one down.
Okay.
And I will draw 3 cards and see what I want to resolve.
All right. So while she's
I'm okay
thinking
with
about
that.
that, I will take my 1 here, shuffle these up. I know it's not a great shuffle, but it's a shuffle enough.
You can
So-
only shuffle 8 cards so much.
Exactly, right? So it's a scheme. So I have the exact same movement as Amanda did for the warp storms, and at this is the one that I had the choice of last time. At the start of the assess damage step of combat, you may discard this card to take all of your units from this combat and place them onto any one friendly area. It says place, which is important, which means anywhere. They can move through warp storms, so anywhere. So that scheme, actually, we can move the cards out of the way. So these two are, this is more permanent, and this is until I use it. So boom, done, and Dan.
Okay, I had 2 tokens on
Oh,
my...
I have to move a warp stone.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. We'll go ahead and move that right there.
I will gain 1 forge token and 1 reinforcement token.
Okay,
Nice.
that's what you chose.
That's what I chose.
Okay.
Okay, so I had the choice of 2 cards, 2 different tactics. I chose Work of the Righteous.
Okay. Oh, mine was Farsight, by the way.
Farsight. Okay. So this is a 90-degree rotating one. I will move this warp storm over here to isolate your cultist. I don't even feel bad about it.
Fine.
Choose a friendly world. Either gain assets from this world or gain material equal to its material value.
Oh, nice. So, like, for instance, you could get... Oh, that's not you.
That's not me. I'm
But
blue.
in theory...
Right. Yes. So
Blue. Dan is
I
blue.
think my best bet is to take the 2 material. I could take a cash token, which is worth the same amount, but that's slightly more limiting.
Right.
So I'll take 2
Or a couple
material.
of reinforcements.
That's also tempting,
Right.
but I need some money.
Okay, so you're up to what? 7?
7.
Okay.
And this goes back into the event deck.
Cool. All right, so, right, so that is that. Now, end of the round, so we go into round 3. Pass the first player marker, please, Amanda. Thank you. And there we go. So, everything should be reset. We get
Yep.
all our actions back. And 8. All right, good. Oops.
So
I
what
see
are
that
we
being
all
done.
have a single objective token right now? Is
Yes.
that right? Okay.
Yeah, we're all even on that. So I have... That is really loud. No, I didn't. I just realized that, the fan. So, first things first. There. Done.
Okay.
Stick to Pavel. There's no reason to break your tongue on Polish letters. Fair enough. Also, I don't think there are lore names for the Warp Storm movement. Okay. All right.
Well, there should be.
Yeah.
Right.
There can be.
Pavel, work on that, would you?
Someone has to make them up at some point.
Thank you. Right. Hello, pink warp storms. Thank you. Purple, lavender, maybe.
I don't know. They kind of go there. It's a gradient.
Go ahead. Leave it to the graphic designer.
Yeah. She knows.
Dreary gray, not pretty pink. Damn it.
You are incorrect, sir.
This is sort of grim.
It is
grim universe.
I love it. I love the art, though.
Me too. I like that there are some machine planets.
Yeah, like they're very
That one
different, the
is
systems.
awesome.
This one?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That was
I
my
kind of
favorite
like
one.
my weird shaped
He's sort of like a
planet
ship plane.
thing.
Oh.
I like the paisley kind of look of
It
that
does
one.
say that the Eldar travel on craft worlds. So maybe
Okay,
that is
well,
a craft
that
world.
would be our home craft world.
Yes.
Okay. Let's.
I wonder if the machine worlds
sorry.
were made by the
Wrong.
machine priests that I just found some stuff from.
That would make sense, right? Yeah, I think Oh, okay. That's all right.
They slide really far in the coin cases.
Yeah,
I like it.
right.
I think there's another game to be played with these in coin cases.
You can't say Trevachek?
Ignacy?
I can say Ignacy
Oh, that
Trevachek.
Trevachek.
Oh.
Yeah,
That one's
I can-
easy for
yeah,
me.
For us.
I did not
yes.
know that's how it was
Yeah,
pronounced.
Trevachek.
That's not too bad. There's a lot more letters.
Yes.
Then,
Then
yeah.
what it looks like. It
Yes.
It sounds like it should be like that, but it's like.
Yes.
Done. Is that who the artist is here, Alexander? Is it Alexander or Alexandra?
Looks like Alexander.
Alexandre.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
That'd be
that's-
my guess.
well,
That's probably it, but. Alexandre.
Okay.
Alexandre.
I-
That is a craft world. There you go. Eldar
Okay.
planets are lost in the warp.
There we go. This is fantastic. I
this is so
appreciate
good.
that we have somebody fluent in the lore. This is pretty cool. So did you just place, Amanda?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I'm up again.
So this says cover art Derken, board art Christian Schwager, and Steven Summers. Oh,
Okay.
interior art has a huge list.
So probably John Blanche is probably just kind of one of the big 40K
That could-
artists.
Or maybe like it's like, you know, how you have books that are the characters of whoever, but written by maybe it's like that's the style, and then
That
other
could be
people
too.
use.
See, I just messed up.
What?
No mulligans.
I know, but what I should have done. So remember this.
Okay, you can mulligan that off.
No. Yeah, I reckon so. No, you wouldn't like what's coming. This should have been placed after another one, so it's on top.
Oh, right.
You
So
have a
that's-
really hard time with that.
I
It's
really
so
struggle with
hard.
this. Now, not everybody does, but I do. So I think it's cool that
Yeah, I
you
have no
don't
problem at all.
Whereas it just
Brain.
right. So
You seem grumpy.
not grumpy, frustrated. All right. Ignacy Trev, T-R-E-V, kind of.
That's how
Trev-
he says it,
Oh,
I think.
I
I think he says Trevachek.
maybe. Hey Dave, I heard you drop by. You didn't get my text until after, like, he got here. Apparently he showed up, and Dana's like, he texted you, and he's like, or he called you, and he's like, oh. So sorry, Dave, I tried. I promise we will have game day next week.
Yeah, this week is Genghis Khan, so you should go
Oh, yeah.
just to buy Boy Scout popcorn for my friend Mary Ellen's kid.
All right.
That was a vote for me. Yes, that was really good.
Okay, well, I'll take that. Morton, thanks. Or wait. Christensen. In the last name? Maybe? Okay, all right, anyway, let me focus. Sorry guys, sorry. All right.
This is quite the orthographic and
I have never heard that word before in my entire life.
Orthography is spelling.
See, to me that should be like spelling next to one another.
Yeah, because it's orthogonal.
Well, it's letters next to each other.
Spelling.
Oh,
That's
you
kind of
and-
how spelling
yeah.
works.
You and your
Okay.
Greek nonsense, or whatever. What
No, that's
Latin?
Latin.
I have no idea.
That's got to be Latin.
It could be.
It's got to be, right?
It's usually what, like,
I don't know. When I was
Prefixes
working
are-
on my PhD, I was looking at English and Swedish, so I can't tell you anything
Okay.
about Greek or
Whose
Latin.
turn is it?
It's me.
Amanda's, right? Still?
I like that you can count
See,
how
that
many
was-
you have left to figure out.
Right.
That makes it
I
much
know
easier.
I have 4 plus the one I'm about to place right there. Whoa. Will you stop doing that?
no.
Apparently.
Is this my last one?
It is. This would be your final one. And Amanda has one more to go after you.
Right.
Oh, okay. Oh, no, it's Morton. No, that's weird. Yeah. Thank you, Jonathan. We really, really appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Morton
Congratulations on.
Salt.
Thank you.
Morton Koopa.
Thank you. Congrats on the new job as well, Jonathan. That's awesome.
Yeah, Morton Koopa is one of the kids that you have to kill in one of the games. I don't remember which one.
And well, you're talking like Mario?
Uh-huh.
That is
Okay.
brutal.
And also, for those that are interested in this game, Game Surplus apparently did, at least at the beginning of the game, have it in stock.
Oh, okay.
FYI, this is out of print in a sense that the relationship between FFG and Games Workshop, this split at the end of at the beginning of this year. So if you want a copy, get it,
Get it
because
quick.
it's not going to be reproduced. So FYI, no expansions are coming, no nothing, which it could use it. I mean, I could see
Yeah,
how you
I
could.
can-
For sure.
But I think the game is fine.
Get more
as is, but-
cards and-
right,
And the
yeah.
the factions are very different.
Oh,
Once you get
completely
used to them,
different,
like you
yes.
play them very differently.
Orthography is from Greek via Latin. Everybody wins!
Awesome, Christopher. Awesome.
Ooh, not one of Bowser's.
It's not? What is it?
Can we focus on the game? All right, let's go. So I'm up, and I choose not to take an action. And by choose, I mean I cannot.
Ah. Okay.
I'm actually okay with that, because it's possible that the one I might not have wanted to go first is covered.
That's
so
That's
that gives me, potentially.
I will dominate down there, so I get a cash token, and now I can use my special power, which is spend 1 material,
Okay.
check,
You're right.
to replace a scout with a space marine or a space marine with a land raider. So I will replace the scout with a space marine.
And it must be in the active system.
Yes,
Correct?
that is correct.
Okay,
Not
which
just
that's
anywhere.
here. So boom, done. Squirrel, you're up.
Thank you.
I'm really okay if she chooses like those, and I just have to skip my turn again, because
Don't do it.
when I come out, the fear of the Eldar, the hammer will drop.
No, elf hammer is not real intimidating.
I'll take that one up there, please.
Yeah, it's more. I don't want to say dainty, but it's more elegant.
Elegant.
Right, I don't-
Elegant.
Yeah.
I dominate.
Well played, sir. Well played.
So I get a hammer, and I get to resolve my thing. So I take one
whack-a-mole.
cultist and put him here, please.
And does it have to go from the active system, Amanda?
May place one cultist from the
Round
from the
three.
active system
Okay.
to an uncontrolled world or a friendly world in an adjacent system.
Okay.
Oh crap!
I elect to not take any actions this
Okay.
this
Is it
phase.
third or fourth?
It's third.
Okay.
Okay. I will
Oh, there you go, Rob.
dominate.
And if you're a patron,
Oh,
if you're
That's
a
not
patron,
what I
you can go to the Patreon updates and see the code for the 10% on top discount. What happened?
Oops.
I'm accidentally dominating there again.
You thought it was something else.
I thought something else was there, so I will take another cash
You
token.
know you could look at that,
I
right?
could.
Okay.
I was really confident, though. I really knew that one. I will spend 1 to replace one of those guys with
Which
a
one?
land raider.
Which one?
The one closest to me.
Okay, the one that had seniority.
Exactly.
Okay.
The one had been there before.
He gets to ride in the
exactly.
tank.
And dude, if y'all hold on, these are just really cool.
They're
I
really
like
nice.
those a lot.
Show that his
Hold on.
his big ship.
The battle barge. That's definitely
The
one
battle
of my
barge is
favorites.
insane.
Yeah, it's massive. It's.
Look at that thing.
I
Pretty
really
cool.
like the
I mean,
the
I'm
chaos.
not really
Mine's
big
pretty
on
cool.
minis and everything, but all right, these are kind of cool. I ain't gonna lie. So he has a
Can't believe
big
I
old
just
tank
did
out
that
here.
again.
Dominate up here. Get-
Okay.
My cash token.
Ooh.
Okay. I have you cash CACHE.
Then bonk.
No.
Oh yeah.
That was a good move.
Thank you.
So you planned that whole thing out, huh?
Sure did.
Well done. Here, snail.
Hey, no, come here. Turkey.
Okay. All right.
I've been doing that to people just constantly
That's
since
awesome.
you showed me that.
I elect to take no actions.
You're just getting denied.
No, that's okay.
Okay. That one I knew and wanted. We're all good.
Good call, Dean. This is not part of the stacked discount for heavy cardboard because it's only the things. If you go to Game Surplus, scroll all the way down, and you see podcast picks. You click on
I
that,
see.
and you click heavy cardboard. It shows all the games that do stack with the 10%
Cool.
off for a patron. Thanks for the reminder, Dean, and
Got
I
it.
apologize for that. Good call.
Okay, so I can produce up to 4 units of command level 0.
Okay.
So I will spend 2 to get a scout, and I will spend 2 to get another scout,
Amanda trying to riffle ships or the action tokens.
2 for a third scout. So I can do 1 more unit.
Because there are 4 listed there.
Right.
Correct.
So I will pay.
Curious what those are, Timothy.
I will pay 2 more to put another scout down there.
Are you sure?
I am absolutely sure. And
Okay.
then, I'm not done yet. I will build a bastion.
Dun dun dun.
So interesting to note, cannot build it here, but even if you had the rule breaker to do it, it wouldn't make sense because it's can't be attacked from space. This one.
Oh, right.
Only here or
To
there.
prevent the orbital
Right,
strike.
right.
I just want it for the
Defense.
dice.
Okay.
Yes. So if you would be so kind to put a bastion over there.
Where do you want it here?
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
on that
There you
world,
go.
but I need a building.
I
Oh,
just
he fell down.
killed your. All right.
There you go.
got right.
Okay. This system is mine.
At least for now.
All right. Can you flip that up there, please?
I can.
I'm gonna have choices. That's exciting.
Okay. So I have 3 hammers. So that means I
One
can.
per.
That means it's hammered.
But I can.
It technically is Forge Hammer time.
means I
yes.
can move up
Okay.
1. Yes.
Yes, you can. So you currently have 0 cities, which
Right.
means you can go to a level 1 to be able to get a Chaos Space Marine.
Okay. So I will spend 1 and 3. 1, 2, 3
To place
to get a
Space
Chaos
Marine.
Space Marine.
Yep. And where would you like it?
Where my
Either-
factory is, please.
Okay, there.
Then-
And you can build a total of 5
5.
units,
Mhm.
right?
Then I'm going to spend another hammer and 3 more to put another Chaos Marine
Where?
in the other area.
Okay, here.
Yep.
Okay.
Then I will spend another hammer and 3 more.
What? Where?
Let's put it in the same one I just did.
This one?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And then I have no more hammers. Darn it. So I will spend 2 to build my final iconoclast, and I'll put it in the void right there. Yes, please.
Holy cow.
Can I have my thingy?
So this is the downside to having no actions. Put it out there.
Oh, right.
Having no actions for a while, everyone has been able to build up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So since Dan's not here, I can talk about this out loud. So the original plan was to come over here, take this over, and then come over here for the next turn.
Okay.
However, he now has 3 scouts there, and I would only have a total of 2 units, and that would leave that completely exposed for someone to come around and take over my city. However, what I can do is I will go ahead and for my first action, even though you guys each have taken 3, so I can go ahead and do an advance action. And
I built some stuff.
yeah, she's...
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Just a couple.
3. Oh.
Oh, then move
Yeah,
both of them over
Oh, yeah,
there.
that's-
Well,
fine.
hold on. You didn't see that.
Oh.
So, instead... Well, hold on. Hold on. So...
Undo.
So Amanda,
Control Z.
Amanda is going to come over here to try and take over my factory.
Right now,
And-
our chances look pretty good.
I do like her chances. I don't think I can probably stop her. However, if I survive, place them on a friendly... You know what? Oh boy. Yeah, we will do this. We're going to definitely move that in. The question is, do I just let it go? Because that would help me get an objective, but at least this way I could fight some. How many dice do your Chaos Space Marines get?
3.
So that's going to be 9 no matter, or 8 dice against my 2.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So
Yeah.
we're going to go ahead and fight that one out. So for me, we have 1 Wraith Guard for 2 dice and another Aspect Warrior for 2 dice for a total of 4 dice for me.
I get my 1 die.
Okay.
Those are the hammers that I spent.
Okay.
Ooh,
Well, you're not going to hit me.
you're definitely.
And you're not gonna hit me
survive.
either.
Yeah,
One
that's also true.
And what'd you say? What was that?
You're not gonna hit me either.
Well, yet. Hold on.
Yeah.
We still have cards to play. So, all right. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
No one has gotten any reinforcements yet.
I did.
No, Amanda did.
It's just
did-
under
oh,
my
yeah.
wheel.
I said we had a lot of them last game.
Yeah, we're gonna just go ahead and play that. So when you're ready, Amanda, I will flip mine.
Okay, just a second. Okay.
Okay. So Fire Dragon's Vengeance. So if I'm attacking, you cannot get any defensive markers this turn. I do have an Aspect Warrior, so I get 2 more defense.
Because
I
you need
that,
it, obviously.
Right. Your turn.
Okay. You may choose and route one of your units to gain a die. If you do not, I place 1 free cultist in the area.
It starts.
Oh, for me? I will go ahead and route him, so you do not get the
Okay.
die.
I gain.
No, you get a die, right?
Yeah.
You get
Oh,
a die. If
okay.
you don't route it, she gets a cultist.
Gotcha. Okay, then we'll do that. And
I was really hoping to be another
defense.
defensive and really fun.
Alright.
But I get 2 guns, 2 temporary guns.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Disposable guns.
Disposable guns.
All right, so I attack for a total of 2 offense.
I attack for.
Well, hold on. You take the damage first.
Ooh.
Oh, I do. So I die, but as I'm leaving, I hit you for
You do.
3.
Okay, and I absorb it. So
Just a little.
You're right. So that's the end of combat.
Dang
Done.
it.
Mission accomplished. For now. And I know I will keep that because nobody else has a marker here.
Right.
So we're good to go there. So I will at least get an objective out of the deal. So there's that. So now it is Dan's turn.
I have no orders on top of any stacks.
Amanda.
Flip me
And here, let
over.
me shuffle because I have a feeling. Oh, wait. No, actually, it won't be a
Yep.
fight.
Nope, there will be
Oh.
no fighting whatsoever. Just stealing.
Yep.
Okay, then.
Rhyming and stealing.
Me.
Beastie Boys reference. Youngins.
I saw Mixmaster Mike at the Metallica show. He was
Like in a crowd, just hanging
no,
out?
he was performing.
Oh, that's
It was
cool.
really cool.
That's cool.
I will move 2 of my Chaos Marines into that area.
And if you wanted to, you could always leave them there and bring him up. Not saying you should, just reminder, because you can move freely within that also.
Okay. No, I think that's okay.
Okay.
So replace.
Yep. So I lose my factory, which I was going to anyway.
Is that your only factory?
It was. That's unfortunate.
Yep. That's
welcome to
rather
Dan's world.
inconvenient.
Yeah, it is. So there's that. Okay. So you're done. Literally. I now. Huh.
You get to draw another card.
That's a thing.
I literally cannot do anything else. Okay, so I will draw another card. So I will there. And then, yep, I will strategize. So now, this actually matters because of the fact that, oh, that's what it is, there. So what I'm looking at is whether or not I want to spend any of these. Because I have a city, that's kind of nice actually, but do I want to spend the material? I might, well, how much material will I get? I will get
Lots
3,
of
4,
difficult
5.
decisions.
I will get 5, or I could keep it.
That's not bad.
You know what? I am not going to take any of those. However, looking at these guys, and note, you have to have a level 2, which means you have to have 2 cities, and currently I only have 1. So these are my only options. Nope, I'm actually not going to take the action, and instead I will just draw another card. Then, for my last action,
Man.
well, when I get skipped 3 times in a row,
Yeah,
that
that'll
happens.
happen.
So now it becomes really interesting on what I want to do.
Yeah. That's what I was hoping was going to happen.
Yeah. Well, because of the order in which you guys did that, that worked out really well for you. I'm actually going to move these guys in.
Ooh. I was not expecting that. Dislike.
How many dice do you get?
2 dice, and they have 2 defense.
2 and 2, whereas my guys are 3 and 2. You know what? I'm okay with this.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead. Oh, shoot! I'm sorry, guys. Here, so I moved these 2 over here, and we're gonna have our first space fight. So I'm
Yes,
getting
we are.
now for 2 Hellbore frigates. I will get 6 dice total. So there's 5 and 6.
Such a
1 strike cruiser gives me 2 dice.
Such a fantastic word.
What
The
is
Hellbore frigate.
Frigate.
frigate?
That's actually I'm
really
really
fun
happy
word.
with this roll. And then shuffle. And 5 cards.
Come on, luck.
And the cool thing is he's not going to be able to build any new
If
ships
I lose.
when you lose. So,
I know that's the disadvantage of those 3 world systems.
Yes, that it's the only spot you can,
Yep.
you can
You
put in.
have to build
Yep.
a ship somewhere else.
Yeah, I'm actually really good with that. I'm cool with that.
I have a strike cruiser there. Okay.
Good discussion going on about the strategy of all this. And thank you for posting that, Rob. We definitely appreciate the support, y'all.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so the Fire Dragon's Vengeance.
What?
So you cannot get any defensive discs, and I do have frigates, so I get 2 defense, temporary defense.
This is going to be a quick fight.
Aha.
Blessed power armor.
Oh, so sorry.
I can convert one of these.
Okay. All right, so I attack for
Do
6.
it. I defend for 3. I have health of 2. Dead.
But he gets the swing.
I attack for none.
And I block it. End of the battle. Okay, that was cool. That was fun.
Brutalized.
All right, good. So I'll take that. Good. Let me. Oh wait. Never mind. Done.
Could you flip that, please?
Sure. Oops.
Strategize. I'm not going to buy any upgrades. I'm just going to put it on my deck.
Okay.
Thank you.
So that's the end of that phase. So we go into collect objectives.
Can you guys hand me my 2 objectives that I just claimed? Because
2?
nobody was paying attention.
Oh, ain't that a bitch? Glory to Rome, Amanda.
Oh,
Y'all were too busy fighting each other.
we were.
You sneaky.
It was right there, too.
Sneaky.
Oh my gosh. That was so good.
Thank you.
Wow. I guess there won't be an intermission.
Nope.
Doesn't matter. Amanda just won.
Wow.
Where were you guys?
That
the
was
mornings
awesome.
on that?
Thanks for not letting anybody know. Appreciate it.
You need that. You need a warning system that they can trigger.
Well, we actually.
Pay attention, pay attention.
We actually have one that's en route.
Yeah.
That actually, we had.
You
that
need
the
a
lights
specific
were-
color. Orange, I think, should be the warning color. Red is you
Wow.
did something wrong. Orange is
Pay attention.
attention.
So okay. So my question for y'all at home then is: did anybody else see that happening and y'all just kept your mouth shut, or was this as big a surprise as it was to Dumb and Dumber over here?
I'm not sure that we could have done anything about
I don't
it, even
know.
if we had seen it.
You couldn't have because
I
I
was not moving
I
here.
had the hammer, so
Uh-huh.
I made sure that where
The hammer being the last action.
right. So I made sure to wherever I went, you guys weren't going to go anywhere. So whenever Dan put his last one here
Uh-huh.
and not here, I knew that I could.
that was
Put that
So she
there.
was able to.
I was able to hop, skip, and jump over here.
Oh, that's so.
And then
good.
over there, I knew that I could just build up a whole crap ton of stuff because I had
just weren't
12
gonna be able to
material.
stop. That
You
was
suck,
really
and I am
good.
really proud of you.
Thank
Good
you.
Awesome.
job. That was really well done.
Matt saw it. Thanks, buddy.
Wow.
I totally saw it.
Wow. I mean, it's not like it's hidden. It's right
No,
here
it's
in
right
front
there.
of us. I feel like a total idiot
And
and,
you would've-
really proud at the
I
same
feel
time.
like you would have had to. I can't think that far in advance of what other people are gonna do. Like it would have. I would have had to see your entire plan to see that. I just don't think I could have done that.
That was wow. Okay, well, so Amanda,
Three
Yes.
rounds.
yeah, seriously. I mean, and last night was 4th round, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
What,
it was the 4th round last
what time
night.
did we start playing?
So we started the stream
It wa-
just
it-
after 11.
It took 40 minutes to do the rules
So
because
this
I
was-
remember
so
looking
an
at
hour and
11.
40 minutes.
This was under 2 hours.
11:40.
An hour and 40 minutes with us taking our time, going through explaining everything, so we
Wow.
can
Thank
play.
you, thank you, Morton.
Thank you, Morgan. Too funny, too funny. All right, so your thoughts on the game
The first time we played this game, we played it at 4, and I
As a
did,
learning game.
Yeah, and I didn't care for it. I felt like it took way too long to do anything, but 3 is the sweet spot. I don't know if 2 would be as good as 3.
We need to try
We need
that.
to try it, but 3 is fantastic. The only thing that I'm noticing now is that you can get way too caught up in what you're doing and completely miss the red flags.
That's a player issue. That's
Yep.
not a game issue. That's a hey, you need to look at the
There's a
instead
lot-
of looking right here,
A lot
right?
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is.
So you need to get rid of your tunnel vision, and you have to pay attention to what other people are doing.
So before we move on to Dan, what I'm curious about you is this is we got turned on to this game by fellow elephants that were like, yeah, it's Ameritrash, but it actually has a lot of meat on the bones. So what do you think about this, with this being an Ameritrash game and everything
I
else?
adore the placing of the thingies,
The actions?
And I think it's really cool also that I get the stacking and you don't, because it just shows how different brains work, and that's fascinating to me. But I love that you can do, your own specialty setup. You can put your guys where you want to put them. You can place down your factory where you want. You can build, I really enjoy it. It does not feel Ameritrashy to me. It feels like, there's some games where you're like, yeah, that's an Ameritrash game, or yeah, that's a Euro game. This just feels like an awesome, fun game.
Cool. Sir?
I have really come to enjoy this game. I think I said this is my 6th time. I think this is my 6th game over several months. But every time I've played it has gotten better. So I wasn't convinced after the first couple, because it felt really slow and there was
Plotting, I think, is a good way.
Yes. And using the beginner setup, I think, really hampers.
Yeah, I would not use that.
Yeah.
Which is really funny. Like, everybody, at least within our group, who has experienced, because we all learned in one form or fashion the recommended basic setup that's in the rules for your first game, have these, it's set up. And that actually nearly turned everybody off from the game.
Absolutely.
Whereas the custom setup, which we'll talk about here in a little bit, really breathes life into the game and makes it just
soar.
Enjoyable, far more enjoyable than it was.
Yeah, and I don't think the idea of having a beginner setup is bad. I just think they would have had to come up with 3 completely different setups instead of 2 that can be expanded to 3 that can be expanded to 4.
Agreed.
They should have done a 2, a 3, and a 4.
Yep.
It would have required a couple more pages in the book.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah, but yeah. Every time I've played, it's gotten smoother, and I've had a better idea of what to look at and what to do. And
However,
yeah, there's obviously still a lot that I need to learn, and I like that. I definitely haven't figured out the game yet, even with this many plays, and I love that.
And what's fantastic is we've all played the same faction multiple times, and we're still not struggling, but still exploring our own faction, and you still have 3 others to explore as well.
Definitely.
And none of us have really touched the orcs. You did once that.
Yeah,
first
I
game,
think I've
and-
played them twice now
Okay.
total, but
Okay.
yeah.
So for me, I bought this as a complete blind buy, knowing nothing about 40K, knowing nothing about I know it's Fantasy Flight, I know it's dudes on a map, I know it's area control, that's it. Pretty much, like I said, I knew it was 40K. I did that strictly because the folks in the Slack channel were talking it up that actually really enjoyed it. And these are people that enjoy 18xx games. These are people that enjoy games like Madeira and other heavy Euro stuff. And I was like, okay, it's going to be out of print. So we bought it, I want to say November of last year or so, just to make sure we get a copy and figure we'll get to it when we get to it. And then a bunch of people on Reddit were asking us to do a playthrough, and then our schedules didn't work out, and then I got sick, Gen Con, whatever. So we finally got this to the table a bunch, and wow, I am really smitten with this game. I am really pleasantly surprised at how much I enjoy this game for all the reasons that you guys brought up. The one thing that I do want to spend a minute talking about is the customized setup. So the setup in the base game has certain, here we'll switch it here, certain units in certain worlds, and the world's set up in a very particular area. Whereas in this game, how it is each player has their home world. So for me, the Eldar, I have this, and I have 2 other random ones. Let's say this one and this one. And we build the board. Whoever's first, they place 1 board out. And remember, at the beginning of the game, everybody has all their units and all their stuff right here. So they choose, when they place that world out on the board, what to put where. And once you say, okay, that's it, I'm done, you can no longer go back and place more things or take things off. So Dan went first, then Amanda placed the world that must be orthogonally adjacent. And then from there, we built this 3x3 grid. And in addition to that, everybody gets 2 opponent objective tokens. So for instance, Dan would get 2 sets of these. And on his first 2 worlds, he places them down. So all this, there's so much planning that goes into that. And then somebody can place like, I didn't expect you to place this here. I thought you'd place it over there. And now, oh man, what am I going to do? And then when it's all done, then you place the warp zones, which can completely change how the first turn plays out. And it brought the entire game to life.
Yep.
So you wanted to show the basic
Yeah,
setup
can you
here?
see the...
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think what...
And here, I'll actually
Zoom
zoom
in.
in
Yeah,
a
can
little
you
here.
see the...
Tony says I should say PPMF for pew pew instead of CC for choo choo.
So I think one of the things that is problematic about the beginner setup is that when you play with 2 players, it's fine. The blue and red are sort of mixed up. But then when you add the 3rd green player, they're all on the side of the board. And then when you add the 4th, they're all stuck over here. And we ended up being pretty mixed up in where we were. And I think that makes the big difference.
It really, really does.
Yeah.
All right, so Forbidden Stars. Amanda and I will reserve our ratings for when we review the game.
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do you want to be a part of the review? If you do, then hold off on a rating.
I would like to be part of the
Okay,
review.
then no ratings.
No
today,
ratings.
guys. All right. So the review will either be this coming Thursday or the following week. One of those two. We'll figure it out over on the podcast. So check that out. Any questions here from the Peanut Gallery? Let's go back through and take a look real quick.
They were talking about perhaps, and they wanted to know in what games do you say check, like in chess. And so they were speaking about different games that you have to declare that
That's
maybe.
interesting.
See, and I don't think so in this because it's right there in front of you, but it is also in chess. I mean, there's no hidden information there,
Right.
but that's on you as the player to pay attention to that.
And it's hard.
And I'll be honest, when Amanda did her move, she was here. I wouldn't have expected that.
Oh, because she couldn't have placed a move token here because it was too far away. But she was able to use her special power
Right.
to teleport over
Which
through
is-
the warp storm.
Right,
Yep.
which is
So-
genius.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think it should. I feel like the onus is on the players
Well,
to be able to
and
do that.
in this, I would imagine like this would happen a lot where you just can't do anything. If you see it late enough that they had to announce it, you can't do anything about
Yeah.
it anyway.
Because
Fair point.
before we even started flipping stuff, I could have been like, the game's over.
Yeah.
Because I had,
Excuse me, fellas. Let me just
Yeah.
let y'all know.
yeah.
I'm gonna go get lunch.
it's
You
done.
guys can
Y'all
finish
finish.
flipping your tokens
Because-
or whatever.
And then when you're done,
There was nothing, nobody could have done anything about this here.
Uh-huh.
And I had so much material, nobody could have done anything
Yeah,
over
that
here.
was not gonna.
Just
you're not gonna.
Seriously, I think from a game playing standpoint, I don't think I've ever been more proud of
Yay!
because that was slick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because it wasn't just, oh, I'm going to move here. It's I had to move there to then use my special ability
Right.
to do that. And I'm like, that's awesome,
Yeah,
dude.
that's
so
really
well
good.
done.
Thank you.
Really good.
Yep. So thanks for the ass whooping.
You're welcome.
I appreciate it. No
problem.
Dan, thank you for playing. Everybody here in the chat live with us that enjoyed that, thank you very much. I feel kind of bad that it's only three rounds.
Yeah, sorry.
i.e. play better. So sorry about that, but that was a lot of fun for us. Hopefully it was for y'all.
Puerto Rico.
Oh yeah, one last thing that we wanted to give a shout out. So as y'all know, obviously our Patreon drive's going on. Pledge HQ, or play, really?
PledgeHC.com.
That. With that, one of our patrons is a Puerto Rican, and he is on the island of Puerto Rico. And he has been giving us updates when he's able to on his phone or whatever. And he says it is absolutely devastated. He said people are literally living day to day, wondering whether or not they're going to have enough water, enough food. And here we are playing this game. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So the big thing that Mario is stressing is, obviously, if you want to donate and you want to do all that to the various funds that are out there, absolutely do so. He said for us Americans at least, and maybe even for y'all overseas, write your congressman, congresswoman, and hound them and tell them,
Yes.
hey, this matters. You guys need to send them aid
Yes.
to help them out. So consider doing that on
And-
behalf of everybody in Puerto Rico who is just...
It's just devastating, and he wanted us to make sure to convey that the American media is not overblowing this. They are showing the facts, and that is actually what is happening in Puerto Rico. There are hospitals and nursing homes where people are going to die because they get too hot and they don't have enough water. That shouldn't happen. It should not happen. So, please do what you can.
Cool. All right. So thanks, everybody. And thanks for the support. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
So with that said, on behalf of myself,
And
Amanda,
me.
and Dan, thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you all later. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.